Alright, are we gonna drink this
Yeah,
Starlight
so-
Coke?
Oh yeah, so how do we open?
I went to the store, and they were like limited edition Cokes, and I said, well, you know me, I love fucking Coca-Cola, please sponsor me. And I bought the small ones, so all three of us can drink it to taste how the new flavor tastes together.
Alrighty.
So here's the boys. I'm popping up a cold one,
How do you open these with one hand?
like a normal can. And he went for it. Alex just went for it.
Oh, what the hell?
Right?
Whoa.
What is
It doesn't
that?
taste like a Coke, right?
It's like Coke, and then all of a sudden it's like caramel pop. Is that caramel?
I literally just described it as candy. I
tastes like-
couldn't think of anything to describe it
Like
as.
toffee.
Yeah.
It's weird, right?
I get like a caramel coffee flavor.
What would you rate it?
6, 5,
Out of
maybe
10?
5 or 6 out of 10. Yeah.
I wouldn't drink it again.
Is it your least favorite Coke?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you like Diet Coke, so you already, I thought that would be yours.
My opinion doesn't matter.
No,
I
I'm
like
just saying,
Diet
'cause
Coke.
that's like
I
everyone's
like Diet
natural,
Coke.
like, least favorite.
It's
Well,
my
I'm glad we
favorite.
all drink that Coke together.
The
I did
fellas.
too,
Oh yeah.
of
Can
course.
we do a little clang?
Oh yeah. Welcome back to episode 2 of the Backlog Boys podcast. With you forever and always, the boy, me, Omar. And with me as always, Sam, aka Jill Sandwich here.
I'm Sam, the sandwich maker.
And then we have Alex, aka I wish Jill would beat the shit out of me. That's the thing that you did not see in the group chat that he deleted. That's what he texted to me. And because I had it open, I saw it, and then he immediately deleted it. And I will never forget that.
That Joe would beat the shit out of him.
And I was like, Chris would beat everyone up. And then he was like, I wish Jill would beat the shit out of me.
we were talking about how Omar only used melee for like the first half of it, and I'm just like, I wish Jill would beat the shit out of me with the winky face.
And then he immediately deleted it like a coward.
Man, dude, Jill could step on me. That's for sure.
What? I don't know. I never saw her. Anyway, stop being weirdos, you guys. And besides you guys being freaks,
Yeah.
what else you guys been up to since the last episode, which I think has been a month now?
Do you want to go, Sam?
Yeah, I can go. Obviously, because you're listening to this, you can't tell, but I'm wearing a hoodie that I bought during my vacation in Las Vegas.
I thought it was a Little Caesars hoodie when I first saw it. Already.
I mean, it's my favorite color, so I like it.
It is
orange.
a bright orange Little Caesars. But yeah, I bought it. I had a good time. I'm not gonna bore you guys with the real details. You know, I did ziplining and I did a lot of drinking. But I've got 2 specific highlights to tell you about. And one of them is not as funny as the other, so I'm gonna do the not funny one first. I went to Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen, and it is
expensive.
I saw those pictures you posted.
it's so good.
I only saw the Wellington.
You made me hungry.
Dude, it's so good. And they're opening one. I'm telling everybody, they're opening one an hour away from us next year.
Hey, we gonna make a special
We
episode.
save some money.
It's like just me and my girlfriend. It costs like $350 the meal.
Well, they also had wine.
Jesus.
Yeah, but we didn't. That wasn't including the tip either, so it's a lot more. But it was really good. I would say do it if you can. It's so good
He had money.
Yeah.
if you have the money. And the other thing I did, I went on a helicopter ride on a little tour across the Las Vegas Strip,
Scary.
and it was scary.
I
What?
played Dead Rising.
Actually, it was kind of funny at the same time because the website described it as a helicopter tour. So I thought the pilot would, like take us up.
Tell you things.
Yeah, and tell us things. Nope. As soon as I put on those like protective headset, I could hear he started playing music. And sure enough, he starts playing Fortune Son. You know that like Vietnam song? You know, whenever there's like a movie in the Vietnam War. Yeah, they started playing Fortune Son, and I was like, "Oh God!" Like,
Doesn't that sound
informative at all.
like famous on TikTok right now?
I don't know, maybe
With like
Any
drafting
song.
and all that.
I think so. Yes, you're right. Yeah.
That makes sense.
So yeah, that started playing, and then
Did
we
you
went
ever
out.
talk?
No, I mean like,
Because that talk is fun. I've been on a plane where you have to wear those, and it really does sound like they're like, this is a bombing. We gotta be careful. You're like, oh, what the fuck?
yeah, like 30 seconds into our flight, somebody, it was a group kind of thing, and the guy behind us asked the pilot, like, "Oh, how long have you been doing this?"
Having
And
small talk.
And then the pilot went, "I think it's a little late to ask me that question, but yeah,
While we're off the land.
yeah." He's like, "I've been doing it for." I think he said like 5 years or something like that.
You should have been like,
But,
today's my first time. Freak that guy out.
Just my
Like,
first
to
flight.
fuck with him a bit.
Like, oh, you asked too late. I'm not a pilot.
Yeah. And then no one else asked any questions. He just took us around. It was really cool seeing all the lights at night and stuff. Really freaky being so far up from the ground and just kind of being in like a floating cardboard box. It felt like at times
because it's different on a plane.
Yeah,
because a plane you're just going so fast and like forward all the time.
Yeah,
it's like it's kind of hard to measure sometimes. Like you're like literally like a million feet in the sky.
Yeah, it was cool. Anyways, Alex, what have you been up to?
Well, I didn't get to go on vacation this week because I know both of you did.
Oh yeah, I did.
And then so I just stayed in my house. I worked my actual job. And
opposed to what job? This is a job. This is fun.
This is a job.
This is fun.
It is fun. It is fun.
Also, we don't get paid.
Yeah. So
we actually lose money doing this.
Yeah.
I worked at my job and I played some video games.
Like what?
Two of them just came out recently. Persona 4 Arena Ultimax.
How was that? The fighting game of the Persona franchise.
It's a light novel, basically. I think you like it.
I know you told me earlier. You're looking right at me. You're like, you love it.
And I played the new Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origins. And it's fucking kicking my ass.
Is it like difficult, or are you just not good at the
It's a Dark
gameplay?
Souls game, basically.
Okay.
Well, Final Fantasy.
But yeah, I've been playing that. And actually, I did get drunk for my buddy.
Don't say
I won't say his name. I did get drunk for my buddy's birthday, and that was pretty fun.
Nice. We both got drunk. Like, the moral of the story is we both got drunk.
I think I blacked out.
The two youngest of the three got drunk.
Meanwhile,
me, the biggest square, and the oldest. I don't consume alcohol.
What did you do, Omar?
But you know what I did? I actually did have an event. I can't just always be like visual novels. I actually have something to say for one. I'll do the most recent one, which was last week. I went to my brother's. He doesn't live here anymore, but he lives in Michigan. I don't know if I should have said that out loud. Oh, it's not. We're not there, so as long as it's not our state.
You didn't say his name.
Yeah, Michigan. Oh yeah, I'll say
it's a big state.
Yeah, so he lives in Michigan, but I went with my brothers for I want to say like a week. That's just me guessing. And I stayed there for a while. I had fun, obviously. But the main thing about it is that we went to a, what would you even call it? Like a retro store?
Yeah, like a retro game store.
They had video games, movies, CDs, and shit.
Like disc replay.
Yeah, but like not called that. I don't know how common it is.
Disc replay in Michigan.
There's a couple.
But they had a bunch of old games. And I bought 4 games. I can't even pronounce 2 of them. I don't even want to attempt to pronounce those games. I never know how to pronounce them. The Digesia? That's how I say it.
What, Disgaea?
Disgaea? I always say Digesia.
The tactics.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, the tactical role-playing game. Yeah.
But the other one, the main one, I got Pikmin 1.
Nice.
I never got to play as a child.
That is pretty cool.
I only knew Pikmin because Olimar in Smash Brothers Brawl. And I was like, who the hell is this little small? I mained him. And he's really good in Brawl. After that, they nerfed him. I don't know why. Anyways, I got Pikmin 1. It only cost $50, which I mean, I don't know how expensive GameCube games were when we were kids, but I know it wasn't $90 because Pikmin 2 is $90.
The GameStop near us likes to upcharge games way too much.
No, GameStop is like, yeah, let's charge.
Oh, not the GameStop. The disc replay near us likes to.
You said you bought 4 games though. You've only talked about 3.
Did I even tell you the 4th one? I don't think I told Alex. I didn't tell you.
Did you?
It's not even that crazy. Yeah, I did. Mario 3D All Stars.
Oh, you did tell me.
For the Switch. Whoa. I didn't buy it because I was a cheap piece of shit, and they stopped selling it because they're also terrible people. But the biggest thing I want to talk about is I watched a movie in the beginning of March. And I think it's my favorite movie of all time.
Is it the one we all saw?
And it's called
The
Batman.
Uncharted 1. Resident Evil the movie.
I was thinking about watching that.
It's dumb. So the Batman, I love that movie. It's my favorite. Yeah. One of my favorites. It's not the favorite, but it's definitely top 5 now, all time. Yeah. My favorite.
Sam, movies. You know me for a while. You know I don't like Batman like that, right?
Nah, you're more of a Spider-Man guy.
Yeah, and you know,
I think I am as well.
I always tell people that like I really don't like Dark Knight as much as other people.
Well, you're gonna get beat up.
I love
in the Comic Cons. You're gonna get beat up by those.
I know. I love Heath Ledger as Joker, but like the whole Batman side of it, I never liked it. And this movie sold me on Batman. Let me just tell you.
The cinematography, acting, casting, music, so the sound, good. The direct. I love Matt Reeves as a director.
Matt Reeves is great.
Robert Pattinson as Batman. Paul Dano as all of these are just perfect. Everything just hits.
I see your point, Omar.
Yeah.
I love the movie. It's like one of my. I saw it twice.
I'm right there with you, man.
I think it's probably my top 5 favorite movies. No offense to all the Dark Knight lovers, but I think it's better than the Dark Knight.
Omar, I agree with you 100%.
I think it's definitely the longest Batman movie. Yeah. It's like 3 hours, I think. But that's what we've been doing for the last like month since the last podcast we're doing. speaking of the podcast,
Yeah.
this week I don't think we even said what we were playing.
Well, we said it last time.
Yeah, probably. But just in case you forgot, we're playing Resident Evil. Can you do the voice? Like the scary
I
beat?
can't.
Resident Evil.
Evil. That's all I can do.
7.
You're an idiot. 7 out of 10. IGN. That's for everyone.
That's my favorite one.
You're goofy. So yeah, we're playing Resident Evil, the first one. All of us played as we learned recently, the remake.
Yeah, I didn't
Resident
know.
Evil
I didn't
1.
know this was the remake of a remake.
It was a remaster of a remake. But yeah, I
Yes.
mean, you guys are technically right.
Yeah, it's a re.
So it's a remake, a 2002, a 2012 remaster of a 2002 remake of a 95 game,
Called Resident
Evil.
The first of a
Did you
still
play?
going franchise.
Did you play the remaster, Sam?
Do you like the original?
What's
or-
your
Which one did you play?
In general, Sam?
'Cause I know you have all of them.
What's my history? Like in general?
What's your history with that shit?
So I got into the series really young. I was like maybe in first or second.
Too young to be.
Yeah, I was like first or second grade when I first saw Resident Evil because my uncle was really into that series.
Wait, the movie?
No, the games.
Oh, like you said Saw, and I was like, what?
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I was like in first grade, so I wasn't playing these games. I was watching my uncle and my older brother, play them. But he started us off with like Resident Evil 4, and that
Most
one,
people our age.
yeah,
Yeah, I did.
and that one was really cool to see as a kid because I grew up on stuff like Crash Bandicoot and like the WWE game, so I hadn't seen anything like
Children
this.
shit, basically.
Yeah. So, when I see this giant chainsaw wielding, bag faced man chasing after my older brother in the game, I was like, whoa, this is something different. And then from there, I played Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 5.
What system do you remember? Resident Evil 4.
Resident Evil 4 was on the PS2. I never played the Wii version.
I got the GameCube.
And then Resident Evil 5 I played with my older brother. That one's really fun if you're playing with other people. I played that on PS3, and then I played Resident Evil 6 once, and I will never play that again. And then I just kind of hung out, and I kind of played through some of I played through the remake a while back of the original, and then I played Resident Evil 7 recently, and I played Resident Evil 8. But aside from that, I got kind of into the movies, because in the early 2000s, there were the Resident Evil movies.
They're like kind of similar, but not really.
They're like...
Yeah.
a fan fiction that grabs stuff from the main like actual canon of the story.
Yeah, don't they insert their own like MC into it?
Yes, they do. And it's the director's wife, I think.
So it's literally a fan fiction.
Pretty much, yeah.
Chick from Underworld?
Yes, Mila Jovovich. I think her husband
Made the
is.
Resident Evil movies.
He either directed or wrote it. But either way, he had like some weird like power in that creation of that movie, so he put his wife in it. But I did watch those, not super into them, but I was passively watching them. But that's my history with Resident Evil. Alex,
All
do you have any?
Yeah, before I start, I'm going to open up another can of alcohol.
Some alcohol.
Yeah, did it one-handed too.
Blasted, baby.
Oh, wow, this was way better than the watermelon one.
Real quick, Sam, who's your favorite character?
Like in all of them?
Yeah.
Probably Leon.
Leon!
Really? Yeah.
I like Leon, but with 8, I became a big fan of
Women.
Yeah. Fuck, what was his name?
Chris.
It's Ethan Winters.
Ethan Winter.
I fell in love with Ethan Winters after 8.
Anyway, so what's
so
back to you.
My history with Resident Evil. First time I remember seeing someone play it was my older cousin, like 10 years older than me. It's back when he had a Wii. He was playing Resident Evil 4, and I'm just sitting there like, oh, this game is so cool. I went home that day. I did some research, and I caught up on like Resident Evil lore.
did it have motion sensor?
Yeah. He was like he would aim at the screen and shoot at it, and I'm like, this game is so cool. And I've always wanted it on the Wii, but I was a little kid. My parents wouldn't buy it for me. They're like, oh, it's rated M. You can't buy it. I think we did try to get him to buy it one time, and the fucking dude at the register kind of fucked us over.
What a loser.
Yeah.
I got too serious. What a square.
Yeah. So
Fuck GameStop.
and then I couldn't get one till Resident Evil 6 came out. So that's technically the first one I played.
Jeez.
Yeah, I know, it's terrible. I do remember Leon doing a bunch of fucking WWE moves.
That guy's a trained wrestler.
Yeah, and then I didn't do anything Resident Evil after 6 because that game sucked.
And that was the newest one.
Like, wait, yeah.
There was no new one after that. For a
It
while.
was terrible. And then 7 came out. There was a lot of like fuzz over 7 being like the new greatest Resident Evil game. Played that, loved it. Village came out recently, loved that even more. Even though, oh no, I love Village way more than 7. And that's my story. What about you, Omar?
The more we play these old games, you hear the same story about me. Is that my older brother? He's older than me by 6 years, so obviously he plays more games than I was as a kid. And I think the same one all you guys played was 4. I don't know if he rented or bought it, but he was playing Resident Evil 4, and I watched him. I think I watched the whole storyline, and I didn't know anything about Resident Evil. And then I know we watched the movies. Me and my brother did. Again, I should not be watching those movies. Yeah, so my brother, I know he played 5 by himself. I did not play it, and I think he wouldn't want to because again, the age difference, it would be the worst experience for him. And then 6 was my first Resident Evil game because he bought it and he beat the whole thing, so he let me use it. And because I'm a scaredy cat, I only played the Chris side, which is literally all you just get a bunch of guns, and you just gun everyone down.
Yeah.
There is no horror to it, honestly. That's why Chris is like my favorite character because as the only character I played as was Chris. And then I didn't care about the series at all. Like, to be honest, my brother loves Resident Evil, but I don't. Like, I don't like scary things in general, movies or games. So I never once thought of ever playing this franchise. I literally, like, 2 months ago, watched a, YouTube video, explain the lore. And, first of all, what a stupid thing.
Yeah, that's okay. I did that, right after I finished Village, because I'm like, I don't remember the story for this.
You don't need to.
What leads up to
it's
Village?
The most... I always wanted. I'm glad I brought this up early. Now it's the most Japanese thing, where it has a simple plot, and then you just convolute it up the wazoo with just random stuff. Because I didn't finish that video because I'm like, this is dumb. I don't care anymore. And I never had an inkling to play 7 because I remember 7 came out, everyone loved it, and my brother loved it. 8 just came out, my brother also loved it. He said, you should play it. I'm like, hell no, I'm never playing that. And then we did the podcast, and we're like, all right, we had Resident Evil. And I very much did not want to play the first one because I know of it, because I've seen stuff of it, because the second one, the third one I remastered. Newer. What did we call it remastered?
Those are remakes.
Yeah, those are remakes.
It was 2 and 3 they got.
And I was like, why wasn't the first one remake? Maybe I know why. Because it sucks. Spoilers, what I'm going to say
it's good.
10 minutes later.
Yeah,
I loved it.
That's blasphemy, dude.
But yeah, to be honest, Resident Evil and me, the most I know of it is the movies. Let's talk about the history of Resident Evil. Since I'm no nerd, I'll leave it to the bespectacled tool over here with the glasses.
The one
Talk about the history.
I don't wear glasses. What are you talking about?
I'm legally blind. I don't know how I play video games at all. Anyways, the history.
Yeah.
Nerd.
So I looked into some of the development history, kind of just to get an idea of what the developers were intending to do when they made the game back in the 90s. And from what I understand, originally this was supposed to be like a remake of some 89 video game called Sweet Home. It was like some Capcom horror game where you go around a mansion solving puzzles. Pretty similar to what ended up happening, but they actually lost the license to Sweet Home somehow. So they had to make an entirely new thing. So they still had the basis of this mansion exploration, but then they didn't have anything else. So they wanted to make something that would appeal to Western audiences. So then they were like, oh, well, Dawn of the Dead is really popular, so why don't we lean into zombies? Oh, The Shining is really popular, so why don't we lean into this, mansion, you know? And then there was a French game called Alone in the Dark that came out in the 90s, and that game had fixed camera angles. And the director of Resident Evil saw that and went, that's a great idea.
I want that.
Yeah, let me steal that. So he did. And they kind of took a risk making this game because I originally only anticipated it appealing to hardcore gamers, and they thought I was only going to sell a couple 100,000 copies. And it was a critical and commercial success, way more than they thought it was going to be, selling millions, achieving a bunch of accolades.
Do you remember what console?
For the PlayStation. I think the first one came out for the PlayStation and I think the Sega Saturn. But the one that everyone remembers is the PlayStation version that came out in 95, I believe. And then in 96, they released the director's cut that was supposed to feature cut content and DualShock compatibility, so you could use the sticks finally instead of the control pad. But in general, those first 2 versions of that game had a lot of charm because of the campiness, but it's actually totally unintended. The Japanese developers didn't actually have an American on the team to help them understand how weird some of the lines sounded in the original version. So there's stuff like talking about Jill sandwiches, and
You're the
like,
lockpick master.
yeah, there's just a lot of weird goofiness, but like a lot of people liked it, but it wasn't the intention. So they kind of took that and some other ideas into their decision to make a remake for the first game in 2002 for the GameCube. And not only did they just completely remake everything from the ground up, but still keep the spirit of the original game alive, they also added a bunch of new content that I didn't even know about until I started researching it. It includes like cut areas from the original game, like the graveyard. There was a cut content, the Lisa Trevor story arc was totally supposed to be in the original version, but it ended up getting cut out for time and memory.
Were the files you find about Lisa Trevor still there?
No, those I don't think those were in there either,
Okay.
because it wouldn't make sense to have this whole like written subplot. Yeah,
Just not doing anything with it.
yeah. They added new mechanics, so there's like defensive items in this game, and then they have what I think is the coolest aspect of this game: the Crimson Heads.
I hate those.
wasn't the
I didn't know
It was
that.
not in
I
the
didn't know
original.
that's what they were called till now.
Yeah,
I didn't know either.
the Crimson Heads essentially are just what zombies turn into after you kill them, and if you leave them like on the floor for a certain period of time, they will come back all red, and they'll be much faster and stronger. The only way to make sure that you don't get them to come is either don't kill them, shoot them in the head, which is really difficult to do, or burn their bodies with kerosene, which is a limited item in the game.
Basically, more incentive not to
Not to kill.
not to kill the zombies,
Passive
just to
is
like
wrong.
move around them.
Yeah. They also, this version of the game also included a lot of cool modes. There was one that's not so cool called Real Survival, where item boxes aren't connected. So each box has their own items in them. So you can't transfer stuff from the entire game.
Realistic, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
worst
there's
I
like
can
there's like
imagine.
3 boxes.
Yeah,
Four.
that's
three,
true.
4,
Like
so it's not
4.
that bad.
Yeah. There's also an invisible zombie mode where every enemy in the game is invisible.
that
God.
sounds like torture.
Yeah. And what I think is my favorite is called the One Dangerous Zombie mode, which automatically turns on once you beat the game with Jill and Chris. And essentially, at the beginning of the game, there's going to be a zombified Stars, remember, with a vest full of grenades. And you can't shoot him because if you shoot him, it will kill you instantly. So you just have to avoid him the entire time. And he'll chase you through rooms and stuff. So
Mr. X before he was a thing.
essentially, yeah, it sounds really cool. And I'm thinking about getting back into it.
Is there like the rocket launcher thing as well?
Oh, yeah, there's
Infinite
like,
bullet rocket
Oh, the
launcher.
glitch.
yeah,
No. Like there's a mode.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
it's called that.
yeah, you can unlock a mode for infinite ammo for the rocket launcher and like Wesker's gun and some other stuff. But
Wesker.
yeah, then in 2015 they remastered the remake. Including the re. It included HD graphics, and then they added costumes for Chris and Jill to have stuff from Resident Evil 5.
I also think we'll bring it up later. Costumes for the other characters as well.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Because
And they
we'll
get-
talk about it later.
They gave Jill jiggle physics.
Yeah.
my favorite part.
Something
of the
tells
game.
me I think that was in the game to begin with.
And they wanted to be. They
Yeah.
only do so much in 95.
Good.
Yeah.
And they look more like the Resident Evil 4 models
All right.
than
So
they did originally, I think.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you guys a little story synopsis for
If you
for
will.
Resident Evil.
Yes.
So story kicks off. Bravo team is missing, right? No, Alpha team is missing. Bravo team is sent in.
Either way.
Yeah,
You're wrong. That was so bad.
Bravo team is missing. Alpha team is sent in to go look for them. The journey takes them to the outskirts of Raccoon City. Raccoon City is important for the rest of the Resident Evil series.
Almost every other game.
Not this game though. And they get to a place called Spencer Mansion.
Mm-hmm.
And the things they find inside Spencer Mansion are a little spooky, And then so they start.
I'm gonna let the dogs out, am I right?
So they go on a little adventure inside Spencer Mansion, find hidden doors, traps, zombies,
Yes.
and
Find the
they're
rest of their crew.
there's
one more
some
team.
traders. And the story,
Twists and some
the rest of it,
and some jizzle physics.
Yeah.
Jizzle. Did I say jizzle?
Jizzle
physics?
physics.
Some Jill physics.
the rest. I think saying anything else would be considered spoilers.
Yeah, so I mean that's good enough. That's good to set the scene.
There's not much like plot.
It's
really
pretty
to the
easy.
game.
Yeah, I think that's part of the beauty of this series in general. Like you can get as much plot as you want from this. If you want to just beeline and skip all the cutscenes, I think you can get away with it and be fine. But if you really want to get involved and read all the documents, it works out too. So
Is this the only one that does that?
what? Where you can kind of not
Where
pay attention?
like the story doesn't really matter.
I mean, in general, the story doesn't matter. But at some point, it's like, why are you playing this game if you don't care about the
Yeah.
story? You know what I mean?
But this is the only one that like two. I know two has.
2 has story segments,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's not. It is much more upfront and in your face. But if you wanted to skip the cutscenes, it's like, all right, like whatever.
Yeah, I know Village is all story.
Yeah.
The later ones are definitely
Yeah.
Mhm.
like obviously more plot. Like I think the first 3 are probably the most not bare bones, but definitely like it makes you want to learn because it doesn't tell you because you start questioning like what is going on, why is this house like who's doing this and like why is this house all fucked and weird,
Yes.
and all that stuff, and like it doesn't answer everything honestly, but it gives you like when you find that document you're like, oh man, find some more
Yeah.
lore, and you get the it gives you like it gives you like a brief pause of the insanity of this game. But it also like it gets you excited because like, I found another document, like sweet. Like I was very like that's what got me through most of it. I'm like, oh, I found another document, and I read it so I was like, whoa, that guy played poker. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, but actually talking about the game,
Yeah.
I'm the one again with the least experience, and I think I'm probably the one with the most negative of us 3. And again, I don't like these type of games in general. I don't like not constructive. What would be the word? Constrictive. Games where like it kind of force you to be like you're in a small hallway, you have a terrible camera angle. Can we all agree that the camera is like
I like the fixed camera.
I
angle.
hated it.
It's bad.
There's some boss fights where it almost killed me because I moved and then it switched to one corner and I got confused
And
where
your
I was.
button like layout was all different, right?
It's yeah, like if you go up and then the camera's in a different angle, but you were already moving up, it will keep moving up. And then if you stop and you go up again, it actually moves you where it's actually supposed to go.
What
It's
boss
like,
fight was this?
No, I'm saying some boss fights in
Oh.
general. Like
I remember.
there's the camera will be like boop and then boop.
Yeah, I
and then
remember
boop.
the one I remember is the bookshelves.
Oh yeah, there's bookshelves. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's because I've kind of grown up from a really young age with this series that I'm kind of used to. I mean, Resident Evil 4 got rid of the fixed camera angle, but the controls are still kind of wonky. But I've just been much more accepting of the weirdness and the unconventionalness of this series, and I really like the fixed camera angle and the tank controls. I think they're a nice breath of fresh air from a third-person game where you're just walking through an open area and move the camera wherever you want. I like it personally.
Yeah, it was definitely different. I didn't really like it as much though. I like the 2 and 3 remakes better.
I think the atmosphere of this game is perfect for it. This fixed thing because it's supposed to be horror. So like if you imagine you had a free roam thing, like half of the stuff wouldn't be as scary because you can just look at the hallway before you even walk there and you see stuff. But like
Yeah.
because of certain camera, especially the first zombie you meet is because it's fixed camera and it's obviously we're not like children, so it's not honestly that scary. But
It's
like,
pretty cool though.
It was.
It is cool.
I did get scared at some points.
I got scared, but more of like not like a traditional like this is scary look, and more like oh like that.
Yeah.
like, that scared.
Like there were jump scares, and there was a specific really tense moment that I won't get into until the spoiler section of this discussion. But
I'm glad you read the history because I originally thought fixed cameras were because of like they were forced to because like it's a 95. It's really old. So you can only do so much, but now I think they obviously wanted to do it, and it makes sense. Like some of the stuff it does work, but I think for a video game, for me it doesn't. This is a perfect like movie video game if that kind of makes sense. Like not literally,
Makes
but, like,
sense.
Like I know we're talking about
Yeah.
Uncharted, like that's like
Yeah.
a movie video game, but it's action. This is like a perfect video game horror movie thing where like you really like you feel like for me I played as Chris like you feel like Chris and that's what they're like you have no idea what that turn is until you actually go there and then the camera changes and you're like oh there's your dead friends there
Yeah.
or like a zombie's there or something like that or you're walking down a hallway also you're and you're just like oh no like,
Yeah.
I'm about to get jumped again or something like that. But to bring that what I mentioned earlier about the Chris thing, you get to pick who you play as in the beginning of the game, as either Jill or Chris. And not just appearance-wise, they're different. Gameplay-wise and story-wise, Alex has just learned. Story-wise, it's very different.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that plays Chris, the guy, because here's my favorite character. So I picked him no matter
Jill's
what.
my favorite character.
In what aspect, Alex? What aspect is your favorite?
Many aspects.
I bet it is. And I don't know why Sam picked Jill in general.
I chose it because she's easier to play as. Because the mechanical difference between these two characters is that I think Chris is a little stronger and he has a little bit more health. But Jill has 2 extra item slots.
Which is way better.
Such a godsend.
It very much is.
And she also has like this lock pick that she can just use. And I think Chris,
he
has to use like rusty keys or something, right?
I had
old
keys.
Old keys.
That's what they were called. You find them and it break immediately the second you use them.
So
I got scared. I thought there's only a limited amount, but there's enough.
You had multiple items in that slot then, right?
No, that was...
I thought you also had the lighter there.
That was... My lighter was my always with me web item. You know how you guys lockpick? Lighter was for me.
Oh.
That.
You just had keys separately?
So if I found a key and I didn't open it immediately, that was always in my inventory.
Yeah.
The only good thing is they stacked. The keys can stack.
Okay.
But if I didn't need to use it, it would just be a wasted inventory.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Honestly, like as I was playing through it though, I got a real sense that this was like a classic adventure game. Like I don't know if you guys played like point and click stuff. I recently got into like the Sam and Max games. There's stuff like Monkey Island, Day of the Tentacle. Those games where you kind of just wander around an area and then you click on stuff to figure out what to do next, what the next puzzle is. I got a real sense of that because even though I've played it, I forget it's been a while, so I had to like remember where everything was and where I needed to go next. And I like that aspect of the game. I like puzzle adventure games. So,
see, what happened to me was in the beginning of the game. I'll explain exactly what happened to me because I think Alex had a very similar experience as me. So again, I've never played any of these Resident Evil games, but I knew of the save mechanic of a typewriter. So in the beginning of the game, you're by yourself because you're 2 teammates. Well, for me, it's Wesker, Jill, Chris are the only people who make it in the mansion.
Okay.
And then Wesker is like, "Hey, Chris, go look for something or whatever." And then you leave, and then they're gone. You never see them again until like way later in the game. So you're by yourself. For me, I was by myself almost the entire game. And you open up the thing, and then you immediately go to like ink. What are they called? Ink wells.
Ink ribbons.
That whatever. And there's a typewriter. Because I never played this game before, did not realize there's a limited amount of saves because as long as many ink wells you have, that's how many saves you have. The second you use a save, you lost that ink well. I didn't know that because in my brain, because I was a kid and I watched my brother play 4, you just save and that's it. There is no limit to it. So I saved immediately because I always do that. And then I played. And then I didn't know about the limited inventory, but I had 6 slots, which is extremely less than YouTube, which is the worst thing. I picked up everything that I walked by because that's what I'm so used to. When you play, like I play a lot of RPGs, you just naturally pick up everything, and there's a weight limit. There's no space limit. It's a weight. So I just picked up like this wall mount, and I thought I needed it because later on in the game is like, oh, you need a key with the shield, and I'm like, oh, this thing I found on the wall. No, it literally is just a piece of wood, and the key is literally just a key with a picture of a thing. But I didn't know that at the time, so I was walking around with this thing. I got jumped by the zombie. I learned that the zombie is pretty hard to kill with their knife. I knifed half of this game with just a knife in the beginning because I did not want to use bullets. So I'm like, let me just knife everyone.
How many of them turned into crimsons?
Well, I quit. I quit that run because I had no health for the rest of the run, and I ran out of saves immediately because I kept saving because I'm so used to saves.
I managed to save my run,
and then that's when I realized there's a limited saves, and I'm like, I have no health, and I have to do the rest of this game. So instead, what I did was I kind of like experimented as much as I could before I died. The second I died, I deleted that save file. And I just restarted again. Okay. With that in the back of my head now.
Really quickly, I want to shout out my younger brother Diego because he's like a Resident Evil fanatic. And when I told him I was going to be playing the game, he taught me a little technique that you can juke the zombies really quickly. You have to like walk into their like field of like attack and then quickly run back. That'll cause them to do their attack animation, and then you can just walk right past.
I learned that towards the end of the game,
and I was like, "Oh my god, this is! I don't have to shoot anybody. I can just juke everybody now."
In my second run, I juked more,
until
I needed to kill them because they were like there's so much in my way. But that game is very much. It doesn't tell you almost really anything to like kind of where you have to go. You kind of just walk around. find
There's
a puzzle, and then you learn you're missing something,
no
or you die.
sense of direction in that game.
And then you're like, well, now I have to figure out what this thing I'm missing. And then you kind of go walk around aimlessly. And that's why I'm kind of glad a lot of the doors are locked. Because imagine if all of them were unlocked, it would be the longest time because you just be walking aimlessly. But the game locks a lot of the doors where you can't go there. So you are open, but of course, like there is only certain doors you can go through. So you will find the thing eventually.
Yeah.
It's that how long it will be and how stupid you are. Because you could also forget shit. And some of the shit is pretty like, well, my voice. Some of the shit's pretty abstract, to be honest.
At this point, I feel like I got the whole game memorized. So I kept running out of ink ribbons. So I started using them very like scarcely, and like I end up dying by a zombie. Sets me back 2 hours. Gotta go back, redo everything I just did, and I died so many times. I feel like I know how to do this game. Like I can explain it to you right now, but I won't because it's a lot of time.
There was a real danger in the way I was playing because I've played this before. I'm confident, I'm cocky. I'm like, oh yeah, I know this game. I'm not gonna save all that often. So there were a lot of times where I walked into rooms and started boss encounters, and I was like, oh god, like I haven't saved at all today. Like I'm gonna lose 2 hours of time, aren't I? And I like would barely squeak by and like win. There's a specific boss fight I'll talk about later in the spoiler section that like I need to talk about. But I don't know. In terms of saving, I think in total I only saved like 9 times the entire run.
25.
9 times?
Yeah, 9 times I
Dude.
saved.
And I stopped saving in the beginning. Like halfway in, I got scared.
So
I'm like, you never know when you open a door, what the fuck is gonna be on the other side of that door at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So I was playing on normal, and on normal,
there's 3 difficulties.
Yeah.
And we all played 3 different difficulties.
Yeah.
I did not know. I played the easiest one.
very easy.
I played baby mode, and I didn't even know. I was wondering why, and I still hated it. I still had a bad
Sam played on easy, and I played on normal. On normal, you only get 30 ink ribbons throughout the whole game.
Oh my god.
I used 29.
I think mine. I don't even think I found them all. I think I had 40.
Dude, it was I was at a point like where near the end of the game, I'm like, okay, I can only save about like 6 more times, so I gotta like not die.
Oh my god.
And then there's a part where I think is this spoiler the part that might explode.
Yeah, I want to talk about that part in the spoiler section.
Okay,
I gotta.
We'll talk about that. But I was at that part and I just walked the whole time like
You have
didn't
to.
need no. You can run, but not too much.
No. The game literally tells you don't.
You can run a little bit, but I think it's like random.
I looked it
Yeah.
up. Yeah, it's especially you. That was a bad idea.
I made sure to like kill every zombie and burn it around that time because I'm like, I am not redoing this. I am like 6 hours in before my last save.
Oh my god.
But that's the good thing that was towards the end of the game. So like next time I saved, I literally the last boss fight.
Yeah. Overall, I mean, you guys already know I'm a fan of this game, so I was very happy and I enjoyed the entire time that I played this game. Alex, I know you're a fan too. I'm assuming you enjoyed it overall.
I loved it.
Yeah.
See, I think I don't know if my opinion would have changed if I was already a fan since the younger times, because I have no connection to this game except for my brother, and I never wanted to play them anyways. And this game, one, it's different than the other ones anyways. It later on becomes more action than horror. And this one is very like puzzle and horror, and I think for me, and I guess this might go to like my monkey brain, where like it's slow, the action is extremely monotonous if you're using the knife, which is what I did for a lot of it. It's the worst. The whole you have to stop and aim to do stuff first. You can't just like freehand shoot or freehand stab. You have to stop, you have to aim, and then you do something.
When's the first time they changed that? Was that 4?
4, yeah. Well, no, even in 4, you had this like plant your feet on the
But,
ground.
like,
I think it
it's kinda
was
like-
6 or 7.
Becomes more like mainstream, I guess if you want. And
Yeah.
for me, it's like, again, I played as Chris, and I realized that halfway in that my model is not the original game model. My Chris is from Resident Evil 5, and he's jacked up the gills of that. And in my head, I was like, this guy could easily beat up everyone, all the zombies, like no question. Yet like they jump him, he's like, oh no, and I was like, dude, you can just like Superman punch this dude's face off. Like, what is wrong? Like, why are you like scared of these zombies? Obviously they're scary, but like you could just punch him really hard in the face. And that was like, obviously that's me probably just me already not liking the game. So anything bad is gonna make me be like, this is dumb. Because it's like, how can you get bit 3 times and you're still okay? Like, I think The Last of Us was perfect, and like you get bit once you're dead, it's game over really.
Yeah.
So like, and this one it's like you get bit like 5 times, and then you eat a herb, and then you're all right. I obviously think video games, so who cares? But like, I think it's because like you see your spoilers, you learn your friends died, and they die the same way you die, yet you can take more than they could. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Let's get into the spoiler
Wait,
section.
before that,
Oh
sorry.
wait, hang on.
The voice acting.
Oh,
I
And the-
thought
and
it
the-
was fine.
So I think my biggest thing I found out is that this is really bad. The voice, and I wouldn't blame them, the voice actors. The voice directing was bad. There was a scene with a character. That's not a spoiler. I had a girl with me. Her name was Rebecca. She was with me like I think halfway in. She was my Barry, if you will. For you guys. Mine
okay.
was the very name.
Was she
Rebecca.
like with you throughout the like? Was
No,
she, like, next to you?
No, like she was like there's certain scenes and then
She
like,
just show up sometimes.
yeah. But there was a scene where she was talking, and I noticed like her one line, she says it normally. In the next line, she sounds completely different, and it makes it seem like they recorded like 2 different times, and they didn't tell them like keep the same voice tone you want to keep. They were like, Chris, I was talking about the thing, and I'm like, that was like what happened? In the last second you talk. Some of the dialogue is goofy. For me, Chris was unintentionally funny because Rebecca. She would be like, "Are you okay?" And you're not gonna see me do it. He would be like this. He would just flash a thumbs up. He did it 2 times, and I thought that was the funniest shit. Because she'd be like, "Oh my god, are you okay?" And he would just be like, "Thumbs up," and I would be like, "What? What's your weird? Why would you just be like thumbs up? Totally zombie apocalypse. I'm all right."
On the Jill side of things, I thought the voice acting was fine. Like the character models don't fit the voices, and I don't think that's anything. I don't think you critique the voice actors for that. The technology wasn't
Especially
there for
Chris.
that.
Chris is like a buff and the guy's like a regular
but
dude.
I literally have on my notes good voice acting, but models make it feel awkward.
Yeah, I don't know. The voice quality, the quality of the voice acting is good, but it is stilted and weird. You're right, Omar, for pointing out that it's probably the director of the voice actors that was kind of getting in the way. But it's not as weird as it was in the original.
one.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely bad in the original. There's no like goofy lines. It's just that they're just not goofy. They're just unrealistic. They feel really like robotic.
Yeah, the Jill sandwich line was cut from the remaster.
And the
Yeah.
locksmith one.
Yeah.
Was that cut? That would be funny. Though. I didn't even know about that.
You are the master locksmith.
You should keep the locksmith.
Okay, so I want to get into the spoiler section now.
So if you haven't played it,
If you haven't played it, get out.
Turn the podcast.
I mean, get my notes.
Skip to a later section. But yeah, so I wanted to open the spoiler section talking about how annoyed I was that the Jill sandwich part was cut out.
Why?
Because I was like really hyped for it because that's an optional thing. You don't actually have to get that
The shotgun.
cutscene. Yeah. Well, no, there's 2 ways you can do that cutscene. I don't know how.
The shotgun.
Because I was
wasn't it?
watching. Yeah, because if you take the shotgun, it like activates this like
Yeah, you
ceiling
remove it from the
thing.
lever.
Yeah. But there's a way. Oh, it's like if you go back into the hallway, it'll trigger a cutscene where Barry shows up and gives you grenades. If you trigger that cutscene, when you do that puzzle, you can't get out of it. You have to find like a broken shotgun to put in its place. But if you don't go out into the hallway and you trigger that puzzle, that trap, it'll cause a cutscene to happen where Barry shows up and like pulls you out of the room, and then he's like, I think in this game he just goes like, "Oh, you're almost flattened" or whatever, something like that.
See, that wouldn't happen with me because Barry doesn't exist in Chris' side at all. He
Yeah.
never showed up.
I don't think anyone saves you in that.
So no, I had to get the broken shotgun. There was no other option.
Oh, I didn't even know there was a broken shotgun.
You know, yeah. I once I found the shotgun was real, I had to do anything to do to get that shotgun.
I got it. I didn't know there was a broken shotgun.
Yeah, there's a broken
I
shotgun.
think that's because you have Barry. Again, I don't have that option. I have to like Rebecca does jack shit until the end. Is the one when she actually does stuff for you.
Okay.
There was this one puzzle where the walls moved.
There's a couple of those.
The one where you had to move the statue. I didn't know
That
I didn't know the wall was moving.
That one was.
And I literally became a Jill sandwich.
I want to talk about how terrified I was of Crimson Heads. Not even just like, because I wanted
They
to make
scared
sure
me.
there were as little Crimson Heads in my game as possible.
Yeah.
So I juked as much as possible. If I had to kill a zombie, I burned it and made sure it was burned. I just didn't want to deal with it, and I was able to successfully manage it pretty well until there's a mini boss where you use the stone masks in the crypt Did you have to do that?
Yeah,
Yeah, to fight the
There's a Crimson Head you have to fight in the crypt.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yes. That was a Crimson Head,
Oh,
yes.
that was a Crimson? I thought it was just a big boss.
Yeah,
No.
I thought it was just a zombie.
Crimson.
It was just a Crimson, and I needed inventory space because I wanted to have my guns, health items, and then the 4 masks. So I didn't have any space.
Can't imagine how I felt.
So I used
Fuck out of management.
So I used all the masks. It triggers the boss fight, and then I go, I only have a shitty pistol and 2 herbs.
That's bad.
I'm screwed. So I literally ran in a circle
You would have had room for the
to shoot
shotgun.
one. I would have.
I had
I
room
just
for
didn't
the
bring
shotgun.
it. I didn't bring it with me because I didn't want to waste shotgun bullets because I knew
Oh.
I needed them later. So yeah, I just ran in a circle and like popped a shot and then ran in a circle and then popped a shot. I was so anxious during that fight because I hadn't saved in like an hour and a half.
Oh.
And I was like, I'm not losing
You
this.
feel my pain.
Yeah. But I don't know. I want to talk about the refueling part, but if you have stuff to talk about before then, go for
I
it.
have a lot to talk about, but
Wait, this is.
I have no issue you talking about
the
this now.
This is the spoiler section.
Yeah, you can talk
Yeah.
about it right now. I don't really care.
I hate the refueling section specifically.
I did not, but continue.
Specifically because I got cocky.
You ran.
So no. So I started the lab. So before okay. My last save was at the beginning of the lab, and I cleared out the area. I combed through all the rooms. I don't know if you guys played it like this, but I wouldn't leave a room until it was 100% green.
No.
Yeah, sometimes.
I did that
I
for
didn't think it
every
was
room.
worth it.
I needed every item in the game. I was OCD about it. So I spent a lot of time clearing every room, figuring
Well,
out
you
where
have
everything
six
needs to
I
go.
think I know what
Inventory?
you're talking. The photography room, right? There was something missing there.
Yeah, in the photography room.
When you
Yeah.
have 6 inventory slots, you don't have the luxury.
No,
to
because
pick
I
up
couldn't
everything.
find what was missing. I remember this.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just gave up. I'm like, I don't care enough.
What I would do is I would have 0 items in my inventory, run, pick up everything, and then come back to a box and unload, and then repeat for a while. But I did all that. I used all the ammo discs at the end, and
Save
then
me, Chris.
yeah,
I did that too.
and then I get to the refueling part, and I knew about it. I already knew that. Oh, I have to slowly walk. I have to get through these weird. I don't know. Are they zombies? Insect things? I don't
They
know.
had
what
a
they
name, and I literally already forgot them. There's
Are.
some
Something
with
like
a C.
VTech or something
I
like
thought
that.
They're
C.
chimeras.
Yeah, they're chimeras. That's what they were
Chimeras.
called.
I hate those things. And I knew I had to fight them, so I was like, all right, I mentally got prepared for it, and I still hadn't saved yet. And I was like, I don't need to. It's fine. I got my shotgun. So I start walking, and then I make it to, there's a part of the hallway where if you go forward, you can get to an item box and a typewriter
Yeah,
to
yeah,
save,
yeah.
Mhm.
or you go down
To the
into
right where the boiler room is.
Exactly. And I went,
You
I haven't
could-
saved in a while.
You could have saved right there.
I could save. And then I went, nah, I'm fine.
You didn't comb through the boiler room beforehand?
No, I did. But the thing is, those things infinitely respawn.
No,
they
they
did.
don't.
No,
No, they don't.
Mine didn't.
I killed
Dude.
the one right in front of it.
Are you
and he
kidding me?
wasn't right there.
Are you kidding me?
There's like 3 or 4 already in there.
I thought they respawned
No,
infinitely.
no, I killed that-
If you only cleared to that spot, there's 2 other ones.
I'm
Yeah,
annoyed.
you
I'm so
could have
annoyed.
only killed the one that's in front of the place you had to go.
I'm
That's
so
what I
annoyed.
did.
I'm so annoyed.
I killed
now.
all of them.
I did it.
So I didn't know that I needed.
I needed. I played on normal. I had to save my ammo.
I hate that. I hate that because I had so much shotgun bullets. But yeah. So I got cocky. I went down into the boiler room, and then I go and I get to this chimera, and then I go, all right, I'm gonna shoot it right before it hits me because I need to make sure the shot lands. So then I go pull up, and he hits me, and it immediately detonates the fucking bomb,
And you die.
and I die. And I was like,
oh no.
I have an hour before work. I'm not doing this again. Like, I'll just do this after work. And then when I went to go replay that section again, I ended up setting off the bomb with my shotgun shot.
Yeah, if you shoot with a big gun, it goes off.
I didn't
Have
know
to use
that.
a pistol.
I had no idea. So I fired my shotgun. I'd say I didn't make the same mistake. I saved right before I got to that room. But I fired my shotgun, died there. I died after getting hit by one of those things. I just struggled so much in that section, more so than anywhere else in that game. And then everything after that was fine. So I don't know. I hated that part.
Yeah, no, I had enough increments to save at the beginning, and that was it. So I made sure that I cleared everything out of my way before I threw that thing there.
Jesus.
I think for me at that point, one, I knew it was end game, so I got nervous. So I had combed that room beforehand, and I walked the entire place, and I killed anything that came out of me. And then I left, and I came back just in case, and I walked around, nothing spawned back here. So I'm like, okay, I'm safe. And then I already burned the zombies beforehand, Because I'm like, why would they put a carousel right here? I have to use it at some point, don't I? And so I burned all the zombies. Well, I fucked up, and I restarted like a couple times in that area because to make sure I burned them. Because I missed 2 times.
Oh, okay.
And it's really bad. Like I missed it by like a foot, and it didn't count. And
I got
was
a
like,
headshot on
wasted
one
the
of them.
carousel.
Save me.
I did.
Save
as
me
well.
some of the what's it
I
called?
think
the liquid.
I got lucky. Or maybe because it's very easy, but I got a good amount of headshots.
I did.
So I don't know if it's because I was on
I had like
easy.
2 max.
I didn't say I got a lot, but I'd say like maybe 6.
I got
And that one I got 1, and that was nice because I didn't want to keep going back. And
in
forth.
that area. I almost died in trying to get the second MO disc because I knew you had to go through the vent. I didn't know there was another vent right next to it. So I was just
immediately. I thought that was the vent I came out
Yeah,
from. So
no,
I looked
so-
and I was like, wait, did I just?
so I
do
was
that?
just looking around for something to do, and they just keep coming out of nowhere. I ran out of shotgun bullets, and I'm like, oh, let me just go back. I went back, and I'm in a whole different room. I'm like, what the fuck?
And it's weird because it's not a different room. It's the same room.
Is it?
It's the same first
Oh,
room.
yeah.
It's just that from a different way. So when I looked at it, that with me, every time I opened the room, spam the map button immediately. Because I'm like, where am I? And where did it just take me? Because I have to know. Because I do not want to go anywhere, especially that game with the cameras. Like, you can't look everywhere. So I had to know where I was at all times.
Luckily, I had a lot of fucking the sprays, the healing sprays.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
First
So
aid spray.
I left that area immediately. I already cleared out the zombies in the hallway, so I went. I cleared the ones upstairs too, and I sprayed up, came back down. I only had to deal with Camaros in that whole part.
So I will not lie. I did bring it up earlier that I loved reading everything. I skipped one on purpose, which was the film one, where you get the film and then it gives you a code to open up the thing.
Oh yeah.
I know I skipped that. I just looked up the code.
Oh, you just
and then
looked
I
it
just
up?
put in the code and I didn't give a fuck.
Oh, I see.
I never picked up that film because again the limited inventory space was a bitch. It's so annoying because we mentioned with the mask thing. I brought all 4 masks. I have 2 inventory slots left. I just brought shotgun and then the ammo, and that was it. Because I have no other inventory space, and I don't want to go all the way back, drop off 3, go back, and then do it again. I'm like, fuck it, I don't care anymore. I just did it.
I did the masks. I thought I had them all. I was missing one. I went into the room, the one we had to kill the plant. I went in there. I thought I grabbed the mask. I didn't. I got the one after that, which was what was the last one by the crow's room, right?
I think I don't.
So I
remember.
got that. So I'm like, okay, good. I got them all. I thought I had them all in my inventory. I went to the statue room. I'm missing a fucking mask. I had to backtrack all the way there, grab the fucking mask that was just sitting in that room,
Oh my god.
and I think the plant respawned.
I don't think it. No,
No?
it shouldn't.
Nah.
It
Oh,
shouldn't.
then it may
killed
then,
it.
then maybe it was
Did
one.
you kill the herbs instead?
No, maybe it was one time when I had to like I died and I had
You just forgot that you did
yeah,
that.
probably
That is
was
possible.
because I knew I thought I grabbed the mask. I know I killed the plant twice, but I never had the mask.
So yeah, maybe you forgot to pick it up the
Yeah, I
first
probably
time. But
I picked it up the first time probably, and then I died, and then I had to backtrack, and I just forgot about killing the plant.
yeah,
I think for me, because you mentioned the hardest part was that explosive thing. And me was when you leave the mansion for the first time.
when you go to the courtyard.
When you go
It's
to like the shed stuff.
Okay.
yeah,
That part, because when you get jumped by a bunch of dogs,
The waterfall.
and
Yeah.
that one's scary when I came back.
Yeah,
So I'm like, oh, I killed them, right?
yeah.
And then they jump
No,
out
no.
of nowhere.
When you go there, it's crows. On
Yeah,
the way
yeah,
back,
yeah.
it's dogs.
the dogs.
That's where I died 3 times. And
that
I
what
was
you're telling me?
I was texting you guys. I died again. I just lost 2 hours of
The
progress.
when you walk into the first time you go outside, you know, like there's 3 dogs in that
Yeah.
one plot.
Oh, is that when you have to use the whistle?
No. That's before. I'm talking about after. When you go outside,
Mhm.
it's like before the gates. There's like I don't know what you even call it.
There's
that
that
area.
where you have to put the metal object.
After that, like right after that, when the
Okay.
first door you open, there's 3
Yes.
dogs right there.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And
I
I
know what
saw
you're
one
talking about.
immediately, shotgun. I shot it, and I just waited because I knew if there were more, they would immediately have to come to me.
I
And I
skipped.
just shotgun.
I saw the dog, and I'm like, you know what? The other way looks way better.
yeah.
No, that was the hardest because the dogs just came out of nowhere, and I hate the dogs. They're the worst because like it's so much animation time getting attacked, and you can't fight them back, so you kind of just have to like wait, hopefully get that and the hunters, where like they hit you once, like the animation of you getting hurt and them
No.
like reloading their attack is
Hunters weren't that bad, actually.
Yeah,
dangerous.
Maybe it's because I was playing it on easy, but the hunters were kind of bitches.
Dude, sometimes when they hit me, it didn't do enough damage, and most of the time their animation to hit you takes so long. I just walked right past it.
Mine were 2 hit kills for me.
Yeah, I just made the shit a kill. It was 2 hit kills, I think, 2 or 3 hit kills for me. But I had enough shotgun ammo that I was able
Oh,
to.
I meant sorry, to kill me.
Oh, to kill you.
To kill me. No, I one shot of them all. But if I missed, I got hit. The animation takes so long for me to recover that he was already ready to attack again. So if I didn't immediately shoot him, I'm dead on that.
I think there's 2 ways they can hit you. Like there's when they hit you like spot on, and then when they just graze you. Because when I got hit by them, I was in green health, and then they hit me. I was still in green health, the lightly greener one, and they weren't that bad. Omar.
I don't know. I didn't struggle with them.
I kind of did. I think because I only use shotgun. And if you miss that shotgun, it's like it's the worst.
I played in the hardest difficulty we had.
No, I only use shotguns to kill them and dogs.
I didn't have many shotgun shells in my playthrough.
I actually don't think I killed a single dog the entire time, except for the one that you had to kill for the whistle.
You kind of might have to.
That's the only one I did kill with a gun.
You didn't kill the ones by the waterfall?
No, I just walked right past them.
fucking hate-
I had such an easy time walking past them, dude.
Dude, I died to them 3 times.
Speaking of the dog, you know what's really funny I did?
What?
Which one of the things I could do like about the game?
What?
I opened the front door.
Oh, at the very
Immediately.
beginning?
One of the immediately I did that.
You can do
So I was
that?
like,
Yeah.
Because I was like, what happens? So you open it, right? And the dog's outside, one of them slips in.
Yes.
And because it's early game, you die immediately, basically. There's no way you can kill
I'm
them.
so glad I didn't do that.
I just thought it'd be funny. That's what broke me, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to restart.
The
this.
main hall was like one of the places I knew. I'm like,
Safest
I can be safe right there.
Well, you
Nothing
would as
will
long as you
hit
don't
me.
open that door.
Yeah.
I
You'll be
didn't.
fine. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Good.
I did because I just want to see what happened. I wish I did it after I killed all the dogs. I'm like, I wonder if there's still dogs there. You just murdered like a lot of them. And I'm like, I wonder if there's still some. I thought there was only 4. And no, there's like a lot of more
Speaking
dogs.
of
than
that
you
front
think there
door, I
is.
did not know there was an opening cinematic to this game.
You didn't know that?
I did not.
I knew that. Well, it's different than the original one, but yeah.
No, I thought the game just threw you inside the mansion.
No, yeah, there's a whole thing where they talk about the Bravo team.
Yeah.
That's where most of the plot is.
Yeah,
I that opening
yeah.
cutscene, honestly, is the
I didn't know.
plot you get
Well,
in the
this
whole
is my
game.
first time playing the game. I didn't know there was a whole opening
makes sense. I
and,
watched you
and
guys
in
play
the
it.
ending cinematic.
Yeah. Speaking of...
Not ending. I have a thing to say about the ending.
yeah. We'll talk about the ending then. Go for it.
Well, okay.
It just
Well, because like I'm pretty much said all I have to
I
say
have a
about
lot of
it.
stuff.
The
Not a
Jill-
lot of stuff, but I have some stuff on
the Jill side
Sure.
of the ending was like very. It ended very quickly.
Yeah, it kind of just all wrapped up
She
quick.
like lays on his fucking shoulder and boom, end.
Yeah.
I want to bring this up because I'm really interested in what's the difference between yours and mine. Because one, I just realized that you doesn't even know who Rebecca is,
I don't know who.
and I know who Rebecca. She was my berry, but not even I think the same ways that you guys were.
No.
Because so for me, one that's why I mentioned earlier that the costume change. I think not only changes your character's costume, but the other characters' costumes, because Rebecca is wearing some weird shit. And I was like, what are you wearing? And then the end game, when you see the credits, she's not wearing the same thing I saw her in. And I was like,
What was she
she's
wearing?
switching. She's literally wearing booty shorts and a vest that goes from like her chest upwards that looks like she's like a cowboy girl.
Oh my god.
And I saw her and I was like, who are you? and also, Chris doesn't seem like he knows her. Because when they talk, they don't really say their names to each other. So she's like Chris, and she never says Rebecca. So I'm like, do you know her? Is she just a civilian? I know plot. I think she's a soldier, right?
No, she's a Bravo team.
Yeah, right. She's a Bravo. So, yeah.
Oh.
So she's not part of your squad?
Yeah, she's part of one of the squads you're looking. The other squad you're looking for.
Yeah.
Is this what she was wearing?
Yeah, that's exactly what she was wearing.
What the hell?
And
That's
that's why I was like, is she a civilian? And she just like just happened to be here by accident or something.
That'd be wild.
And I was like, who is this girl?
Well,
and why isn't Chris like?
This
who?
is her normal attire.
Yeah, that's what I saw that, and I was like, that makes more sense.
Okay.
Because later on, when Wesker shoots her, he's like, "Good thing you're wearing a bulletproof vest," and I'm like, "Excuse me, what? You're wearing a cowboy vest, like a cowgirl. Like, is there a bulletproof there?" Because I'm like, "Why are you not bleeding?" And it's like, "Oh, the shot here," and I'm like, "You're wearing like a cowboy thing. What are you wearing?"
Why were you wearing?
I think because he chose the alternate
I
costume.
wore a Resident Evil 5 Chris, so he's like muscular Chris, and she changed clothes. I'm pretty
Oh
sure.
my god.
Yeah.
Again, I looked at the other version of it, and she looks like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Who is Rebecca?" And then, what's that guy's name? Is it Richard?
The blonde dude?
Oh.
The
Can we-
dude that is
Can we,
poisoned?
Can we talk about
Yes.
Richard?
Richard?
Yeah, Richard.
Because Richard, yeah, because she's, I don't know how you guys with you, but that's when you meet Rebecca for the first time.
Oh.
Is when you find, excuse me, sorry. When you find her, she's with him, and he's like, "Oh, I got bit." And then I thought it was a zombie, but he actually is a snake. He's like, "Oh, a snake," and I was like, "What?"
So-
and then you learn what that snake is.
Does Rebecca just not exist in the Jill playthrough.
No, she doesn't. She's not
like
a person.
no mention at all.
That's why
Nothing.
Barry is never mentioned because I know who he is. I'm like, where's Barry? No.
Which makes me wonder what like the canon of the story is, because I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure they both are canon. Like,
I looked her up. I'm like, is she in
Wouldn't-
other shit? She
Wouldn't
is.
Jill be canon? Like,
you would think so. I don't know. Like,
because
But Rebecca is
three
in
a
the
sequel to
squad.
one? And then 3 follows Jill.
yeah, I don't know. But either way, Richard, you guys saved Richard, right?
Fuck no.
Yes.
I went and got the serum, but I think I took like a long path, and when I got there, he was already dead.
I was like, I have to save everyone.
Yeah.
The best I can. I grabbed that shit immediately and ran.
I saved Richard.
Yeah, I saved
You know what
Richard.
happens?
I didn't know he could die.
You-
I thought he's like, get me the serum. I'm like, okay.
You're like, oh, you'll be all right. Come back. Oh shit.
I go get the serum. I waste a couple zombies on my way back. He's fucking dead.
It's probably also because he was playing on normal. They probably give you more time depending on what
Maybe.
Probably.
No, I still
playing
ran
on.
though because I'm like, I
Oh, yeah.
don't want him to die.
Me too. But if you save Richard, I don't know if this happened for you, but in the boss fight in the later room where
You
you
get a
fight the
better
snake-
shotgun, don't you?
Yeah, he gives you he gets killed in that fight anyways.
Wait, the snake, the shark, right?
No, because
no, it
in
was
the
the snake.
Jill storyline he gets killed by the snake.
The snake. Oh,
yeah,
mine's
yeah,
different.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind
No,
of funny.
mention.
It's kind of
Mine
funny.
is too, so I'm mentioning what yours is gonna be.
So yeah, you go into the room, the snake shows up, and then a cutscene plays, and he barges in, and he's like, "Eat this" or whatever, and then he just starts,
Yeah, no.
he just starts unloading into the snake, and then you start shooting at the snake, and then eventually,
This is a cutscene still.
no, like
this
it
is
goes into
gameplay now.
gameplay.
Okay.
He's shooting a snake.
It's a boss fight quotation marks.
yeah,
'Cause
and,
I ran away from it.
and then you don't have to fight it.
You don't have to fight it.
Wait, what's
I
you talking
grabbed-
about the?
the snake.
No,
The-
wait,
the
you're not
first-
fighting the
there's
library.
two parts.
Snake.
There's two
Oh.
parts.
I ran too, but okay, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I grabbed the mask and I ran away.
So if you don't do that, if you damage it enough in the first encounter, it'll trigger a cutscene where it bites and kills Richard. Like it just gobbles him up. Yeah. But he drops his shotgun, so you can grab
Wait,
his
you got the
shotgun.
pump shotgun that early?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
I did not get it that early.
Yeah, I
at
got that
all.
shotgun that early. And then, I just used the shotgun to kill the snake, I thought. And then I got the mask and left. And then I fought it later on.
No, I didn't kill the snake. I just grabbed that mask and get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, me too.
Because once I learned you can basically not fight most of the bosses, I was like, bet I'm just gonna run away.
The
but-
plant boss.
No, Richard.
Yeah.
For most of the game, he's so I'm interested now. That makes your side makes more sense because in my side, he's unconscious. After you give him the serum, he like passes. I thought he died. I thought I failed. 'Cause he gives you the serum and he's like, "Oh, don't." He says something to you, and then he passes out. And I'm like, "He died." And Chris is like, "Richard," and then Rebecca's like, "Oh no, he's unconscious." And I was like, "How do you know that? Are you a doctor?" Like that's why I didn't know at the time who she was. I'm like, "Are you a who are you?"
Cowgirl doctor.
Yeah, and she was like, "Oh, I'll take him to the medical room," and then because this is different than you guys then because with Rebecca, she'll heal you.
Oh,
If
was
you
she?
walk into, you know the where all the serums and stuff.
Yeah, the medical
That's
room.
where she is for most of the game. And if you're hurt, no matter what, you walk in that room, she'll be like, "Chris, are you okay? Do you want me to heal you?" And you'll be like, "Yes" or "No," and you'll be like, "No, bitch, get the fuck off me." And that's why I did because that one time I was
Oh
fully
my
healed, but then one time I
God.
was really low and I didn't want to go to my inventory to like switch everything out and like
Yeah.
because again I have limited space, so I didn't have time to like I didn't want to keep doing that shit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, fucking heal me, dude. And then she heals you full.
Oh,
She does
wow.
it 3 times though.
Oh.
She tells you like, oh, there's only limited supplies, but
I can do it.
yeah, I can heal you. So Richard is out of commission. And wow, I'm really interested because after that, the only thing you do with Rebecca is there's a piano bit.
Oh, she does something with the piano?
You didn't do the piano
We
thing?
did
no,
the
no.
piano, but Jill,
Jill
played
just
it.
knows how to play
Oh,
piano.
no, mine's different. I still get to set up the same way where I get all this shit.
Yeah, you grab the
So you get
sonata.
all the things. So this is funny. So Chris plays it and he sucks. He's like, "What's this stuff?" And then Rebecca's like, "Oh, I heard the piano. What's going on?" Because it's close to the safe room where she is, so she can hear it.
Yeah.
And she's like, she plays it and kind of fucks it up. And Chris is like, "Wow, you suck." And I was like, "Bro, what?
You're
Like, why you
worse.
so you worse than her."
Damn.
And then she's like, "If you give me some time, I can practice and I can do it." And then you're like, you choose yes or no, and you have to wait like a couple minutes. And then I don't if you saw it in the video we watched. When you walk out, you hear her play. So when you're walking in that hallway,
It's
you
open.
hear her
Like trying it.
play the piano, and then you kind of just have to wait a bit, and then you come back. She's like, "Well, listen to this," and then she does it, and then it opens the thing for you.
I wonder what happens if you tell her no. Like,
I guess, what is that thing? What is in there?
oh, it's a
the-
key, no?
I don't remember.
No.
I just remember it's the
Oh,
tombstone.
yes, it's the shield. Because remember in the in the dining room, there's that wooden shield, and you need the real shield.
The gold shield.
Yeah.
So I wonder how that works if you say no. I think she just like, why we could be so mean, Chris, and then she'll probably play or whatever.
Or maybe Chris will just go, give me a second chance at it.
Bitch, move, and then like you play the thing for her.
Immediately perfects it.
Obviously, because I'm an incel. Sometimes I thought Rebecca totally like was like, Chris, be real careful out there, and Chris is like, thumbs up, bro, like homies or whatever.
Yeah.
Because she's very like, Chris, oh my god, are you okay? And I was like, bro, I'm like a super soldier. Like, I think I'm all right. Like, you're the one. Are you okay? You're like small. Because you have to save her.
Mm-hmm.
When you go into the study room,
Okay.
when you open the door, immediately you hear screaming. He's like, I heard screaming. And then you have to go upstairs. And then Rebecca's going to get murdered.
Okay.
And you have to save her. And that's when I tell you about that one line where she's like, Chris, hey, what's like, her voice is like very infectious. It went from her crying to like normal, like really weird. And then you save her. And that's when I learned that's when the only time she could die.
Oh.
Because if you don't save her later on, it gets harder because where Richard shows up, which is why I thought it was weird, is until the shark.
Oh, okay.
Because you're so far into this area, all of a sudden Richard is already there. He's in there in the water, and he's like, Chris, be careful. And I'm like, what? And then the shark comes at Chris. Richard pushes you away, and he gets eaten. And the shotgun is at the end.
Oh.
But I'm like, how are you in here for so long and not get killed yet?
Yeah.
Because he was like in the middle.
Yeah.
And he was like walking like on his hands, like on the wall. And he was like, Chris, watch out. And then he dies. And I'm like, no, Richard. I felt bad because I'm like, I just saved you.
Yeah.
So that's when if you don't kill him, or if he doesn't die or whatever, that's where like.
You get the shotgun.
Yeah. Because then you drain the water.
Yeah.
You have to kill the shark. And then it's behind him.
Okay.
Or the shark or whatever. That's where the pump shotgun
Like
is.
where the key is?
Oh, no. So literally the next scene, sorry. When you walk forward and the camera changes, the thing's right there.
Okay.
So you don't get that shotgun until then.
Until way later. Wow. Okay.
And then the plant fight is different if you save Rebecca or you don't save Rebecca.
Okay.
No.
Did you have the
What?
option to kill it like before it attacked you?
Yeah.
No.
Because we did.
Because
I did.
I think that's the difference. Because there's so either Rebecca lives, but you didn't save Richard.
Mm-hmm.
I think she kills it for you. Because the
plant?
serum, I think, you can kill the plant.
Well, we
Yeah.
had to make this.
Well, because I saved him, she didn't have to do anything about it.
Okay.
Because I looked it up and I was like, what are these flasks?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, if you saved Richard and Rebecca, you don't have to worry about it.
Oh.
And then you just fight the plant.
Okay.
And that's it. The Rebecca never shows
Well,
up.
you don't even have to fight the plant. And
No,
if you.
I had to fight it.
Okay.
And that's why I mentioned I missed the one-shot pistol. You get a pistol. It's called, what's it called? The self-defense pistol?
Yeah.
And you learn that's literally a one-shot kill anything. And I missed. I aimed and I moved because I didn't know. Because it moves a lot, the plant. And I'm like, I missed the shot. And I hated my life after
It's
that.
okay,
I
Omar. I used it on Tyrant, who doesn't move a lot, and missed.
Oh yeah, you have to kill the plant yourself no matter what. You have to kill it.
Yeah, on the Jill side, if you just combine and make the poison or whatever, you can go down into like the shark room, and there's a security room where there's like vines all over, and you can just pour it on the vines, and it will like
Kill it instantly.
It won't kill it, but it'll weaken it. And then when you walk into the room, it'll play a cutscene, and Barry just shows up, and he's like,
I got it, bitch.
"Yeah," he's like, "I got a flamethrower."
That's-
And then he
that's
just
what
kills it.
burns
That's
it.
one of the times where I died, like, and I had to like retrace my steps, and I know,
plant?
yeah, to make the serum to kill it, and I know that serum recipe.
I think
By heart.
Yep, I can.
Jesus.
I have no evidence because again I had to do that. I think from when I read because I was like, what are these things?
Yeah.
I think there's certain times we have to play as Rebecca.
Really?
I think you play Rebecca in that scene because Chris is fighting it, and then you're like Rebecca goes, and you do this stuff. I think I could be dead wrong,
Maybe.
but I remember I read that somewhere where it's like
Huh.
you play as Rebecca if you didn't save Richard, but Rebecca still lived.
Huh.
I could be dead wrong. I didn't play it, and I didn't care enough to test it.
To go
out.
through
'Cause I just
it.
wanted to kill the thing and get out of there.
Well, I know that there's a GameCube like prequel game called Resident Evil 0 where you can play as either Rebecca or someone else.
That's why I knew she was a main important character because I know there was a game before like a prequel to this game where she is in it. But that's why I'm like, why is she dressed like this? But I guess that's because of the DLC costume.
Yeah.
And I think later on, Rebecca doesn't show. She shows up there. She shows up at the lab before you meet Wesker. That's the traitor is Wesker. We didn't talk about that for a minute.
No.
But she shows up there. I swear to God, she shows up before. A lot of times she shows up.
Was she a little sus?
Oh,
what,
did she help you?
What do you mean?
Well, see, on my notes here, like right after Richard, I have fuck Barry, fucking trailer, which I meant to say trailer.
Traitor? Why?
There's a part in the catacombs where you go down an elevator. Well, first off,
before that,
you walk into a room and there's a guy, I forget his name, Ramirez or something.
Oh, Enrico?
Enrico, yeah, and he's shot already, and he's like, no,
before that too.
he's hurt. What do you mean before that?
Dude,
He's already bleeding.
There's
Hang
a
on.
scene where you walk in on Barry just like talking to himself about how he's gonna sabotage this whole operation and all that.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's when I wrote that. I'm like, fuck Barry, fucking traitor.
What?
It's right before you get into that aqua
Aqua
ring
ring.
or whatever. He's in there talking to himself. And then later you run into Enrico and he's
gets
like,
shot.
"There's a traitor or
And
something."
then he gets shot.
He gets
and you
shot.
don't see who shoots him.
Yeah, and then
Wesker.
you walk down a couple rooms and then Barry shows up.
He's like, "What's up, dude?"
Hey, dude.
Wow, no. Rebecca's like,
Then you hang on. Then you go down an elevator with him, and
he's like, "Man, I wish I could kill everyone in here."
no. You go down an elevator with him, and he's like, you hear Lisa Trevor wailing or whatever, and then he's like, "Oh, you should go check that out." And
Yeah.
Sacrifice.
he's like, I'll secure the room or whatever. And then when you go in and then you come back to go finish a puzzle, he goes up. Like you see him like
He's like,
He leaves you by
he
yourself.
leaves you behind, so you stuck in that section.
And then when you catch up to him, he points a gun at you.
yeah, like Barry is like
super sus.
super sus.
Did you save him? Did you give him his gun?
Yeah, I gave him his gun.
I did too.
Or
yeah.
you knew.
No,
Yeah, 'cause I knew, but,
there's an option not to give him his gun.
Well, it's because it's in the crypt where you fight Lisa Trevor. Well, you don't actually have to fight her, but
Yeah.
But he's like points a gun at you, and then you go, "Oh well, I'm gonna take the gun," and then she shows up and it's like, "Give the gun back to Barry."
Oh, you have Barry in that scene?
Yes,
Yeah.
I don't have Barry in
You're
it.
just alone in that
No,
fight.
you have Wesker.
What?
Oh,
Wesker's
really?
in that scene.
Oh,
So you go you go down the elevator, right? And then Wesker like is there.
yeah.
And he like I don't remember if Lisa's already there or not. And he's like, "Oh, good timing, Chris. You can help me out." And I'm like, "What?" And then he's fighting Lisa, and he just shoots at her. And then it's him, and so Lisa Wesker's there.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you let her escape or whatever,
She dies.
he's like, "No, she doesn't die."
she does. Die.
She like jumps down the
Yeah, but she
pit or
doesn't die,
whatever.
though.
It's like assumed that she dies, but it's also like all the papers that you read are like she's unkillable.
Yeah,
Oh,
so that's why I'm
yeah.
like, I assume she doesn't die.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
assume she was right. But then, because I'm like, Wesker's here, and this is the first time the whole game where Wesker is still there
Mm-hmm.
because he doesn't leave. And I'm like, well, let me talk to Wesker, see what he says. And he's literally like, it's so funny because even the subtitle says, he's like, "You go on ahead. I'll stay here." And I'm like, what? Why'd you pause for so long, Wesker? Wesker, are you on my side?
Oh,
buddy?
so Wesker was sus to you the whole time.
Well, how many times do you see Wesker in the whole game? You saw him a couple times, right?
No, for us, you don't see him until like
He shows a couple times though.
the Residence. This is the first time you see him after the Residence is like
No, I know. I'm trying to remember when I saw him. I feel like I saw him a lot. Not a lot. I saw him a couple times.
after the intro. The Residence is the first time you see him, and then after that you see him. I don't think you see him again until the lab section of the game.
No, I saw him like 5-4 times.
Yeah.
There's a couple times he shows up and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" or whatever. And, he's like, and Chris is like, "Wesker, what's going on?"
No.
He's like, "The whole place is compromised, but can you keep looking around?" And I was like, "Oh, all right, sure, buddy."
The Jill side of things made it seem like Barry was the traitor, but like, because I've
No.
already played the other games, I'm like, I know.
Yeah, who's the
I
bad
mean,
guys.
he might be a traitor. I didn't know he wasn't.
Yeah.
But like, I know that the true like.
Yeah, Wesker's the villain in every game.
Yeah, I'm like the
I think.
mastermind is Wesker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, no, Rebecca was not sound weird. She's a good person. Like she did nothing evil at all.
When you go to the lab to confront Wesker and the Tyrant, the first time you see the Tyrant,
Yeah.
is Rebecca with you?
Yes.
And he shoots Rebecca.
Yes.
Is what you're saying.
She shoots.
Who
he
shoots him? Does he
No.
get shot?
No.
In that scene?
No.
In the Jill side, Barry comes into the room with you, and then he puts the gun up to Jill, and then Jill's like, "You're working with Wesker or whatever," and then he's like, "Sorry, man, I had to do it. They got my wife and kid, you know." And
snap.
Then he gets told to leave by
yeah,
Wesker,
what-
comes
what's-
back
what does
in,
the fuck
shoots
off?
him.
yeah, Barry comes back and shoots Wesker, and then Wesker like sets off the thing to let Tyrant escape or
That's
whatever.
not what happened.
And
in
that's
mine.
And then
when I-
Tyrant like kills.
Oh, he
That's
still
when,
kills him anyways.
that's when
Yeah,
I
that's funny.
That's when I missed my one hit shot.
In that fight,
Yeah.
it wouldn't have mattered.
Mine was I don't remember how to set up because when you're down in the labs, she shows up at the end,
Yeah.
and then she's like, "Oh, Chris, I finally caught." Oh yeah, she's like, "I finally caught up to you," and I was like, How long were you running? Like I've been at it for a while, dude. Like that walk with the bomb in my hand, like that was a far way. You could have showed up at that point. Come on.
Hey, Sam, did you save Chris?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah?
Yeah, did
Okay,
you?
When did you? Yeah, I did, but like,
Thanks for
when
cutting
did
off my
you?
story, but
I'm sorry.
continue.
Do you want to finish?
No, just you already said.
When did you save him? Because I didn't save him to like the last possible moment.
That's the only. That's the only place.
So you can't save him
I
before?
thought that too, but then it's locked.
Yeah.
It only opens if the emergency happens, which is the end of
Okay.
the game. Because I thought that too.
All right, so I didn't mess up. I thought you.
I saved Jill at the end.
Because after you
And,
save him, he just helps you out. So I'm like, could you have gotten him earlier?
No.
So for me, Rebecca shows up right before they open the elevator. When you power up the elevator, and then you go up, and then Wesker's like, oh, like Chris immediately is like, Wesker, why did you betray us? How could you do it? And he's like, oh, he does his monologue. I assume he does a monologue for you as well.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, blah, blah, you guys are my little piggies because All Star Labs or people are my piggies and blah, blah. She had piggies. I was like, well, that's weird.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, I think you're like, you're crazy, Wesker. And then like he pulls out a gun. I don't know why he shoots Rebecca first and he doesn't shoot Chris at all. He shoots Rebecca and you assume Rebecca dies. And then he goes up to Tyrant and he's like, I've created the perfect thing. And it was so funny because Chris is like, ha, 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 you're crazy, Wesker. And I'm like, you're crazy for laughing right now. Your friend just got shot like 2 seconds ago. And he's like, you're insane, Wesker. And I think Wesker's like, I've made the perfect, and he deactivates the thing. The cutscene happens where like it's a shitty like GameCube cutscene, which I thought was really funny. And then he looks at it and he's like, this is the greatest specimen in history, and I'm this creator, blah, blah, blah. And he's blah, he just gets immediately cut and then thrown, and then he dies, quote unquote. He comes back a million times.
Yeah.
And then you fight Tyrant alone. You kill Tyrant, and then you can pick up Rebecca, and she's like, oh, I'm okay. And it's like, the good thing your bulletproof vest saved you. And even though she's wearing a cowboy fucking shirt thing or whatever. And then that's like that's the Rebecca side.
Yeah, that leads us to the boss fight, the final boss fight.
Well, did you check Wesker's body?
No.
You didn't check his body?
His
You
body's
have to.
missing.
Yeah,
In
no,
the
yeah,
jail
his
section,
bo-
his body's missing.
Oh no, not for me.
Oh, what?
I had to go to his body because he has like a key or no. He had something on him. I
Like
forgot what
the
it was.
power thing.
No. Like not like game like lore wise.
Was it that note that was like, oh, I've like, it was just a note about him gloating.
Yeah.
about stuff.
He was being like
That wasn't on him. That was just on a desk or
that's
something.
on him. And then you check him, and then Chris is like, "What a pitiful way to die." He doesn't say that. But
That
he,
only
like,
happens. No, that's if you do it during the boss fight. But after
No,
the boss fight,
when he died.
Oh.
Because I looked around, because I'm like, what else? I wanted to know what happened. Because
Yeah.
his body is still there.
Yeah.
For me.
I think on our side there's a line that Jill says where Wesker's body go, or Barry says it.
yeah,
They point out that he's
I think
missing.
that makes me assume that Jill it might be the most canon one then, because his body's just there,
yeah,
and then you check and he's like, "What a pitiful way to die," and that's it.
yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know then.
And then my key thing was like in a corner or something. I think was he for you guys as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a couple to the other end.
Yeah.
But then no, yeah, he's dead right there in front of you.
Okay.
So it makes you feel like if you play Chris's side that he's dead.
Yeah,
because
I guess so.
because it blows up. I assume he can maybe escape or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you escape out of there, Rebecca's like, "Oh, I know where I have to put the sequence to blow up the place," and then she's like, "I'll go do it."
Oh.
Chris, you get out of here or whatever, and that's when you can go save Jill.
Oh,
Huh.
the
In
place
the-
just starts to blow up on. by
Yeah, as
itself.
you
Wait, what?
yeah, as you like make your way towards the helipad or whatever, it's just like the self-destruct starts, and I think Barry is like, Wesker must have set the
Wow.
the self-destruct thingy or
Yeah.
whatever.
No, you tell Rebecca to do it,
Okay.
or she says it. One of you. It's planned.
Yeah.
She goes to do it, and then you go to leave.
Mm-hmm.
But the game doesn't even mention Jill ever. Like I don't know if they ever mentioned to you guys that Chris is there.
It's not a requirement to get them. That's
like,
why
do
they
they
don't
even bring it
mention
up though?
What do you mean?
They don't. So then no one's ever like,
No, oh, go
"Where's-"
get Chris. No. You can just not.
Yeah,
grab
you just
him.
not save him.
Do you have to save Jill too?
Well,
Yeah, like Jill is his
Oh.
Chris.
Jill's in the prison or whatever.
Oh, because I think he said that she was in the mansion when they first went in, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, all three of us walk in together.
Yeah, no, Chris isn't there for us.
And then
Yeah.
I saw that it's Barry, you, and,
Yeah.
and Wesker. No, you all walk in, and then Wesker's like, go by yourself. And by the time you come back, they're gone.
Yeah.
So so when you find her, it's fun. I feel bad for her because like she's been waiting for like God knows how long. And she's like, Chris, Wesker, and you're like, yeah, I know, bitch. Like I know who that guy is. Yeah. She's like, God, I have to tell you, Wesker's the bad guy. You're like, yeah, no, he's dead. He died.
No. In the Jill version, you just show up and Chris is like all mopey in the cell, and then you go like, Chris, and then he's like, oh my God, Jill, what's up? And then it's like, I gotta get you out of here. Like, I don't think Chris knows. Or
No, he does know.
Does he know?
He said something about Wesker and Jill's like, yeah, I know.
I don't remember that.
That's the only thing you say to her. And she's like, Jill. She's like, Chris.
No, but
he's a bad guy.
they had way more conversation though.
I think maybe I'm remembering wrong. I'm pretty sure she's like, because you're like Jill, and then Chris like Chris, and then like Wesker's the bad guy. He doesn't even finish the sentence. He's like, I know. We have to get out of here because the substitute's already on.
Oh,
so like
okay.
you kind of have to like. The whole point is like you moving.
Maybe that's because you didn't meet them. You didn't see Jill before.
I never met Jill ever again.
Oh.
From the very beginning until that scene is the next time I saw her. I never saw Jill.
That's kind of cool.
The only time you ever mentioned Jill is with Wesker.
Huh.
He's like, "Where's Jill?" Or something. And I don't think he even answers you. He's just like,
Yeah, I think that's
we're
the same for
separated.
us with Chris. He gets mentioned like a couple times.
Yeah, but it's kind of cool that they have two different versions of a
kind of plot. Not plot.
No, the what's it called? The emergency bomb cutscene or whatever. Because if you have already seen Chris and you go get him when the doors are unlocked, you just walk in and it's like, let's go. But if you don't, I guess like if you don't talk to him beforehand, maybe it plays a different version of the cutscene because like otherwise it would have been different. Like it would have been more like what you said, where it's like, oh, I got to talk to you about.
Yeah, we have to
It's
go
like,
now.
We got to go.
Yeah, we have to leave now or whatever. And then, after that, it's interesting because like I don't know how many times there's scenes with you and Barry together, like you playing with him and like he's literally following
There's
you.
like two
Because
maybe?
when you do that with Jill, the second you leave that room up the stairs, she's like, "I'm gonna go on ahead," and then she's gone.
Chris
And then-
does that, yeah.
And then with Rebecca too, like there's only like one scene with her. You walk with her, and then she's like, "I'm gonna go check this out," and then like you're gone.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they just like we're not gonna program this person to follow you like these random times or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it goes into the end where the elevator is, and they're like, "There's some zombies," and then you like, "We'll hold them.
Mm-hmm.
You go ahead," and then you go up to blah blah blah.
You said
And then they immediately come
signal.
back and you get the flare thing or
Yeah.
whatever, and then the pilot, what's the guy's name?
Brad.
Oh, Brad.
Brad.
Yeah.
I thought he was Barry. The first time you hear him talk, he's like Brad, and I was like Barry. I was like, oh, Barry's here too, and they're like, no, he said Brad, and I'm like, oh, this Barry just doesn't exist in this game, huh? In my universe. I guess he just died or something.
Yeah.
And then when the Tyrant comes out, I don't know how he gets played for you. Tyrant, like, it looks like he stabbed the shit out of Jill
He stabbed the shit out of Chris for
and then
Yeah.
launched her, and then
Yeah.
she's like, ugh.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Oh, you're dead? Like, did I just save you for nothing?" And then like the game continues. She's just like, "Oh, I'm hurt," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, you're okay, fine." And then Rebecca like runs away and doesn't help you at all either.
And
I
then
think-
the fight with Tyrant starts.
Yeah, and you guys just the bob and weave him or whatever.
I just had a bunch of grenade launchers.
I had
and also
magnums.
just-
see. That's another thing. I didn't have a grenade launcher. I had the flamethrower, and it was only limited to that tunnel area
Ah.
because I don't know how if it was for you guys. I got the flamethrower the same way you get the shotgun on a pedestal. And if you lift it up, it locks the door. So the only way to leave is to put the flamethrower back.
Oh, we had to do that, but it was broken.
Yeah, there's a puzzle for us where we have to like go past an area, activate a box or whatever.
crush it, and there's
Crush
a
it.
broken
There's
one.
a broken
Yeah.
one.
You know, I have to do that after all of that. I get the
Oh.
flamethrower.
Huh.
Speaking of that area, that's the only time I got scared when Lisa Trevor showed
So I
up.
turned around. I was like, "Oh shit, what is that?" No, wait. Before that, when you meet her the first time, I'm confused.
Yeah.
because she knocks you out. One, you wake up in a different area where you got knocked out.
They're like 2 feet
Mine
away.
was- Mine was
where,
like
where did you wake up?
on the because like there's a little staircase.
Yeah.
I walked up on the floor.
Like 2
but I
feet
was
away.
knocked out before the staircase.
Uh-huh.
One, how did that happen? Two, what is Lisa trying to do?
She drags you by the fireplace, and I guess it's from what I understand from the memos is that she's like looking for her mom and dad.
Yeah,
or
I know
whatever.
that. Or mostly her mom, because she's the
Yeah.
one with her when they
Yeah.
got kidnapped.
Yeah.
Isn't she wearing her mom's face?
Yeah, she's wearing her mom's face.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
ripped it off.
So I
What a
don't know.
good
Maybe
child.
she like moves you towards the
But she
fire.
also attacks you though.
I think it's the kind of thing where it's like, oh, you're an unconscious person. You're cool or whatever.
Well, she
I don't
knocks you
know.
out though.
Yeah, I don't
She's
know.
the one who knocks you out and then immediately attacks you afterwards. I'm like, so why didn't you kill me
Yeah, I don't know.
before that?
It's weird.
I mean, her character in general is like, she's not okay, obviously. Like she's
Yeah.
just fucking just gone completely.
yeah.
So, like, I guess it's hard to explain, but I thought that was weird. That one you woke up in a different spot where you got knocked out, and then she kind of just waited for you to wake up and then went to like
Attack you.
attack
Mhm.
you. I just thought that was weird.
It is weird, but
Because I think you needed maybe that. So when you see Lisa in the mines,
Mm.
you're wondering like, how the fuck did you get out? And you realize it leads to that.
yeah.
But then like, it literally is scary because the way it turns, and you're like, I'm gonna go down here.
I
You're like, what the fuck?
I think
and then you run the other way.
I think it's coded so like the first turn you make, she'll show up there.
I think she's always on the left for me. Oh, I know.
No, no,
I always.
I think it's the first turn you make.
Yeah,
I
so.
always looked. I assume she was always coming. So I'm like, I have to
Yeah.
look at you because I want to know you're chasing.
I think mine game glitched for a bit where I saw her spawn in.
No, did you?
You're like, wait a minute.
This doesn't look right.
Because I got interested about her character the most probably was Lisa.
It's pretty.
Because when I read it, and then I'm like, that's sad. And
Yeah.
then I saw her. I didn't connect the two until the second time when you were with Wesker. And when she's like mommy or whatever. And I'm like, wait a minute. And then I remembered the files and I was like, oh my God, that's her. What the fuck? Because
Yeah.
one of the dudes is the dad.
Yes.
One of the scientists is the dad. And he mentions that where he's like, my wife and he's like, I hope they're, I don't know what, I wish I remember the dates. But one of them said, I hope they're okay.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, they were visiting my aunt or like my sister who was in the hospital, so they're safe.
Yeah.
And then one of the later members, I don't know if it's him or someone else. They're like, they took my wife and daughter.
I think it's him. It's
It's the same
him,
guy
right?
just at a different time.
It's the same guy at a different time because he's like talking about running away and he's like, oh, I feel like I heard somebody mention
My
wife and daughter. So they must have them. I hope they're safe or whatever.
Do you remember which one he was? Because obviously all of them are dead. Do you remember if it was one who he was? Because there's some of them you read and they're dead right there. They
Oh.
either hung themselves or
you
they were.
find his gravestone. They buried him.
That's
alive.
him.
Yeah.
He's a Bravestone guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So he had to fall down
yeah,
that
yeah,
hole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
down the hole. Yeah.
I think that's him.
That's him.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
He writes on his note how he knew they were gonna do that.
Yeah, because he saw his name and
they
he's like, "Oh,
already-
we're
yeah.
all dead."
Yeah.
Some of them are. That's why I'm saying some of the reading points were so interesting. Because one of them was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, like I saw. I don't know any of their names anymore." They were like, "Oh, I killed John. Like, he's in the bathroom. He's like, I had to kill him. Like,
Yeah.
he would have wanted it. Like, he would have killed me if he was other way." And then you go in there, he like comes back.
Yeah.
And you're like, "Oh shit, that's fucked up." Like,
Yeah.
he purposely killed him to make sure that wouldn't happen, and then it happened anyway because they don't know the rules of like
Yeah.
headshots or burn him alive or whatever.
And then when you're in the bathroom, you hear like a loud crash.
Yeah,
outside.
yeah.
And then when you go outside, the zombie that hung itself, the guy who hung itself is now
Oh
a zombie.
no! Mine doesn't happen like that.
What?
Mine, I read that.
Okay.
It was like Chris's hung zombie doesn't come back.
Oh.
He just stays dead. Some of them were like, "Oh, this doesn't happen to Chris. This happens to Jill. Or this one happens to Jill and not to Chris."
I heard the crash. I just left the room.
Yeah,
as
mine
soon as I
doesn't.
could.
Mine, he just stayed dead. And I just ran because I got scared because I assumed he was gonna get up again. So I just got it and ran, and then nothing happened.
There was also that one where you read the journal about the guy playing poker or whatever.
Yeah, that guy.
And then, like,
he killed that one dude.
As soon as you finish, like the guy pops through the
The
closet.
closet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That scared me.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck that one. I remember that one.
I thought it was. That's why like, some of those tidbits are funny.
Yeah.
He's like, I played with John the scientist and like Larry security guard. Fuck Larry, he's a cheater.
Yeah.
And then you learn that he's the one who like helped him. He's like, oh, he woke me up in the middle of the night to be like, you have to put the suit on, dude. Like we're fucking contaminated.
Yeah.
And he kills him.
Yeah.
He killed that. I reread the whole thing just to remember who he killed.
Mhm.
Like, when he rip his face off or something.
Something like that.
Because he's like, oh, his
Yeah,
face was
he
annoying.
he was like hungry.
oh yeah, he ate. He's like, oh, he
Yeah.
was delicious. And I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
That's the first one you read, I think.
I think
Where
so.
you learn that turn into zombies. That's crazy. They can still write though.
Yeah, but
Like,
it's kind
they're-
of cool that you can see like the degradation of
Yeah,
their
yeah.
like consciousness.
That's why like reading Lisa's is so depressing because she's like a child. I assume she's a child,
Yeah.
and she's just like she still talks though like normal for most of her stuff.
Well, like those logs, like the one from the dad was dated in the 60s, and you don't show up into the mansion until like the 90s.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that was okay.
So like Lisa Trevor's been like that for like 30 years.
that's fucked.
Damn.
so that's like the most like depressing part of that story.
So
that-
how long has that mansion like been?
it's
fucked?
been around for a long. I don't know if it's been fucked for a long time, but like they've had experiments for a long time.
multiple years or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I know some of that like where the mansion is the whole purpose of that mansion is, like to do experiments, right?
Yeah.
I
yeah.
remember reading that, like watching that video that explained that, like the mansion is like the whole purpose of it was to do that shit anyways.
Yeah.
I forgot about like it's been like a long time since it started.
Yeah.
That from what you show up at that game.
Yeah.
That's sad as fuck. Lisa, that makes sense why she's big now.
That's very
Yeah,
sad.
because she's that'd be weird if she's a child and she's well. Also, some of them were what some of the notes mentioned growth.
Yes.
They're like, oh, the growth is exponential,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, oh, maybe that's what happened.
Yeah.
Because the plant one was like, oh, the plant just fucking grew
Got
like
crazy.
to like insane heights or whatever.
I'm guessing the movie skipped the Lisa Trevor stuff.
Yeah, well, the Mila Jovovich ones from the 2000s do, but I know that in the newest one, they like bring her in,
Oh.
but it's like they combine it with stuff from Resident Evil 2 with the orphanage,
Oh, that makes sense.
and like
Why you could.
I don't know, it's just it's fine. They make her look the same, kind of like where
With the
she's
bag head.
Oh, that'd be
she has like
scary
this
as
the
fuck.
bag of faces or whatever over her head. But
Does she ever show him come back? 'Cause she
oh,
jumps
in
off that-
the later games,
Yeah.
No,
You remember?
there's a spin-off.
Zero.
What's it called?
Revelation.
No, there's like a point and click shooter game.
Is it
What do you call
Revelations?
those? No, like House of the Dead. What
Oh
are
yeah,
those
yeah.
style games?
I don't know.
Are they just point and click games?
Yeah,
no,
point
no,
and
no,
click
but like
shooter.
it's just like the arcade game.
Oh.
Like a
you
light-
have the fake gun and you
Oh.
aim the thing.
like a light gun game, I think is what
yeah,
they're called.
yeah. I don't know what they're called.
There was one for the Wii called like Dark Side Chronicles or something like
That's called
that.
Revelation. Was it not called Revelation?
No, Revelations was on the 3DS,
Oh.
and that was like a full-on kind of game.
Yeah.
But this one, there was each stage was like based on a different character at a different point in the series. So there's one where Leon before Resident Evil 4, but there's one where you play as Wesker escaping the mansion, and he's like running through and shooting down hunters, and like he's obviously
badass.
yeah, he's a badass. But then Lisa Trevor chases him through the mansion, and he's like shooting her, and obviously she doesn't
Yeah, she
die.
die.
He ends up I think the final end of the level is that he has to like pin her down with a chandelier, and then he just bounces. So she
Fuck that shit.
so she dies. She dies in the explosion. I'm assuming because she doesn't come back again.
Yeah, 'cause she jumps down even further down. So
Yeah, but I'm saying like after that,
Yeah,
she
yeah, yeah.
encounters Wesker, and then she dies in the explusion.
She's probably stuck under all that rubble.
Probably
I mean,
actually.
she's probably dead. I mean, she probably wants to be dead.
She
anyways.
can't
Like, what's the
die.
point
Yeah.
of, like, being alive after that point? I don't think she even understands any shit.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I remember when I was reading some of that stuff. Because I don't know how far advanced they thought of the plot for the second one or the ones after. Like, I know the second one has orphanage shit, and I thought that was gonna be connected. Because I know the second one there's a little girl in it.
Well, I'm really curious about like how they changed some of the story to tie in better with the second one because there's a couple of things. So first off, the Lisa Trevor thing was not in the original game in
Yeah.
'95. So when they made the sequel in '98, I think '97, that wasn't incorporated at all because it wasn't part of
In
the original story.
one, yeah, so there's no point of bringing the second one.
But in the remake, right, there's the Lisa Trevor stuff, but there's also memos talking about this guy talking about his girlfriend Ada, who's a character in Resident Evil 2.
I swear, I remember reading them. That's a
And then
Leon's girl.
that memo that Wesker has where he's gloating about like showing off the G virus. The G virus is the main virus in Resident Evil 2 and 3.
Oh, okay.
And he talks specifically about like wanting to show up William Birkin, who's the main scientist from Resident Evil 2.
Oh.
And I'm like, there's no way this memo would have been in the
Yeah,
original
the first
game.
one. Yeah, because that's so specific.
Yeah. And I think he mentioned somebody named the Net, who I think is mentioned in like Code Veronica spin-off game. I don't know for sure, but I think Annette might actually just be Birkin's wife. Either way, these are characters that don't show up in
Yeah,
the originals.
yeah.
So they have to be things that they added later on. So I think a lot of the memos probably were reworked for this remake of the game.
My head, I got confused sometimes of the second game. I thought the second game was the first game. Some of the lore bits.
Okay.
Like, I don't know any of their names anymore. In the second one, there's like the wife husband doctors.
Yeah, that's the Birkins.
That's the Birkins.
Yeah.
I thought they were in the first one.
That's what I thought.
and I
those were
thought
Lisa's
Lisa
parent. Yeah.
was that kid. That's why I
Yeah.
was like, my head, I kept confusing 2 and 1 a lot because I never played them, but I know of the story. So my head kind of like, I thought we were gonna meet them in the basement
Yeah. No.
when they're all locked and they're like they're the only humans left and they're all gonna explain the plot to me. No, it's just Wesker and he doesn't really explain shit.
Yeah.
He just explains why he he doesn't explain why he He's just like I've always been
Yeah.
with
Umbrella.
in two, the Lisa Trevor character is the wife, I believe, right?
No,
No?
it's the husband because
Is
he
it?
gets mutated with the G virus. and
Yeah,
he
yeah,
just-
yeah. Because she tries to like kill him, right?
Yeah, I think eventually she helps you kill him in the remake, at least. Because
Oh.
there's differences between the remake of Resident Evil.
Yeah,
2.
I remember one of them turned into it.
It's the I remember.
I
It's
thought-
the,
I
hus-
thought
the
it was
husband
the wife.
changes.
I was
Yeah,
probably thinking of Lisa Trevor again.
yeah, you probably thought it was a woman. Really, that must be the wife. It's like no, it's the guy, it's the dad.
So yeah, I knew one of them transforms and then the other helps you take it down.
yeah.
I wondered, like, for people who never played the game, how obvious the Wesker thing is. Because I've known literally in every game
Yeah.
Wesker's the bad guy. So like I already knew ahead of time that Wesker, and he again like he wears sunglasses inside. that's already a red flag.
You were doing that earlier.
Yeah, but I'm a douchebag. That's what I'm saying. Wesker's already showing like douchebag signs.
I
Yeah.
came to your house. You're wearing sunglasses while you're standing at the door.
Yeah, and I was like, I was still wearing them inside too.
Oh my God.
But it's already nighttime though. We met when it was still daytime.
Okay.
That mission wasn't the nighttime.
Okay.
He was
Yeah.
already wearing sunglasses.
Jesus.
I think, well, in the original video, excuse me, sorry. In the original game, the opening's different. They have real life actors instead of animations or whatever.
Really?
And well, you didn't see it. You don't remember watching the scene?
Oh,
They showed
yeah.
it for like a couple seconds.
I thought it was just like a trailer.
And
No, that's the opening.
Wesker's, dude. I don't know if I maybe just noticed it wrong. All of them had blue backgrounds, and then Wesker had a red one.
Yeah.
And also, he's super like slicking his hair back. Already still has sunglasses on in general. I'm like, that's pretty like.
I think that's just like another part of the campiness. Like, we all know who the bad guy is, but
It's the
like,
guy
let's
with the
pretend we
sunglasses.
don't know.
Also, who's the guy you meet throughout the whole game? Wesker. But he helps you a lot, which you think he wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's like, oh, I gave you ammo, I gave you guns, I fixed the doorknob.
No, but there was that memo you read towards the end of the game where they talk about doing this whole thing to collect combat data.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So that's probably why he doesn't kill you at the beginning, because he's still like, I need more data.
I'm interested if because when he was with Chris, he always makes like, Chris, you're a fine specimen.
Really?
He says that he says that when you meet him at the end.
Oh.
He's like, I think that's what he's like. I don't know if he says I like you, Chris, or like he's like, Chris, you're like a
Fine
yeah,
specimen.
I'm sad I have to kill you.
Yeah,
Okay.
So that's why he
weird.
kills Rebecca.
Oh.
Because he doesn't want to kill. He's like, I can't kill you yet, Chris. I need more data. Now I remember. I'm glad you brought it up. That's why he activates Tyrant to fight Chris.
Oh,
to get
okay.
the data because he thinks Chris is like, well, he obviously is probably the best soldier
Yeah.
in that team. So he's like, I can't kill you yet, Chris. I had to. He's like, oh, not you, not yet, Chris. I need more data.
Okay.
Then that's when Tyrant kills him,
Gotcha.
and then you fight Tyrant or whatever. Now I'm glad you brought that up because I remember now. But
Yeah.
yeah, Wesker's like, he's there all the time. He's always like investigating more, and I'm like, dude, if you're a leader, be like, let's get the fuck out of here. Also, he never brings up, let's go save the guys. He's like, yeah, let's just keep investigating more.
Let's keep going.
Like, who cares? Did you ever meet that dude in the balcony, the dead body?
Oh, yeah, he has the grenade launcher in the Jill
Oh,
version.
mine, he has something else.
Yeah, I don't know what he has.
I don't remember what he has, but I had to go there anyways.
That's a weird zombie because he's like way faster than all the others.
Oh no, he never turned to me.
Oh,
I
he
think I
doesn't?
left immediately.
I thought
Oh, no. If you continue down that hallway, there's like 2 herbs, and then he stands up and starts chasing you.
I
thought
left. I
Barry
read that
gave
I
you
got
the
sad
grenade
and I just
launcher.
walked away.
I think if you don't get it then, you get it
oh,
later.
okay.
But
Yeah, no, I don't think he had. I don't remember what he had for me. I don't remember.
it must not have been something crazy. But
Yeah, because I still got it though.
Yeah.
I think it might have been something for a puzzle though, because I needed to get them.
yeah, I don't know.
Because
then.
again, I think must have made you like go get them. So there's him. There was the dude who dies in the beginning.
Kenneth, I think was his name.
I think that was his name, Kenneth.
The one with the
And-
video.
Yeah. That was so fucked up.
Yeah.
It's like you saved the video, and it's just him getting just murdered
Mm-hmm. Well,
terribly.
it's also if you play Resident Evil 0, he's like one of the main guys in that.
Yeah, because it's like the Bravo team or whatever.
And it's like if you don't have that context, you're just like, oh, this guy goes down like a bitch or whatever.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
then if you play that one, you're like, oh, this guy went through like hours and
Hell.
hours of this,
Damn.
and then got like
that was like his last point.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying. What terrible recording. It's
Yeah.
really that's why I'm like, why would I keep this? It's just him dying.
yeah.
And then there's Enrico.
Who got
In the
shot?
mine.
Yeah.
Who was this? Is that it?
Uh,
the one dude already dead in the plane or the helicopter. Remember?
yeah,
Like, we found one body and he's already like fucked up.
yeah,
Isn't Brad part of that?
No.
team
Brad
too?
is your helicopter. pilot.
yeah,
So that guy was already dead. And then your squad, that one dude dies immediately.
yeah. I forget his
The
name.
dude with the headband.
Yeah,
He gets killed. And then I assume it's not gonna be different. Like Jill like misses every single shot humanly possible and doesn't shoot a single dog.
Yeah.
And then Chris perfectly shoots the dog and kills it. I'm like, wow, Jill, you suck. I'm glad I picked Chris because you're just terrible at aiming. Also, how do they outrun those dogs? Those dogs are really fast.
no idea.
They were, and then Wesker like showed. That was so weird. The opening's pretty campy, honestly. The opening of this one, it's not as campy as the original one.
Yeah.
The original one's super campy. This one's like toned down, but still like
Kind of goofy.
campy or whatever.
Yeah,
But I don't. I feel like I wish there was more evidence of you saving that squad. Because honestly, every time you met them, they already either dead or they died in 2 seconds.
yeah.
Like only Richard lived the longest, but he said shit. He was like, I'm
Not for
poisoned,
me.
and then he like got, and then he. Oh, I guess it's different for us.
Yeah, but the only one you saved was Rebecca.
Yeah, well, for me, you guys didn't even meet
No,
her.
we
So
didn't
like,
meet any-
technically, you
everyone.
didn't save anyone.
We didn't save
You
anyone.
failed your mission.
Oh, he saved Richard.
Yeah, but
He
Richard
dies no matter
He
what.
still
He
died.
dies no
Okay,
matter
he's
what.
still-
He's fated to die.
Yeah,
Mine sounds less goofier than yours.
for sure.
Because he just eat alive. Mine was like he saved me from getting. Like if he didn't do that, I would have died in that scene.
Yeah,
Like I was gonna get murdered.
Well, he just died.
and then
for
he just
me.
like pushes you, and then he gets. I mean, he's just devoured. I'm like, oh shit, Richard, you're dead as
At least you
fuck.
guys saw him die.
yeah.
Oh, you just fucking. Yeah, he's gone. Yeah, that's weird that Rebecca is like.
The only one.
Yeah, and then she's like I guess she doesn't even feel like a soul. Again, maybe because of the uniform, she felt nothing like a soldier. Because when you meet her, you're like, oh, do you have a gun? He's
Yeah.
like, yeah. And then she gets attacked by the hunter, and she's just like, like she just like hands on the head, in the corner like screaming, and I'm like, oh, you're not a soldier then, right?
Yeah.
And like, no, she is. I don't know. I guess she just freaked out.
I think she's a rookie or something.
That's-
I
but,
think she is.
That's why she's on the B team.
She's like the.
Yeah.
I think she's the newbie. I think right.
But
But there is, like, again, like some of the points I wish they explained more of was the Bravo team stuff. Now I don't need to know their fucking origin story.
Wasn't that
I
what
didn't even
Zero
give a fuck
is?
about their names. It's just that like
you want to see
the
more.
whole point of the game originally is that you're supposed to save them.
Yeah.
You know jack shit about them except for Rebecca, and I didn't even know she was on the Bravo team, but I already knew that in general.
Yeah.
But the game never tells you that Chris never is like, where's everyone else on Bravo? He never. I just realized he never asked. For
They never
shit.
ask.
He doesn't say, Rebecca, what happened?
Where's your
Rebecca,
teammates?
where's your team? Rebecca, what, like, nothing. He literally says jack shit to her. He just, like, looks at her like, you're incompetent.
Well, that's what the prequel's for, right?
But,
Yeah,
like,
sure.
I'm saying, like, that's weird that Chris didn't say shit.
Yeah.
You would think, Chris in this game, he seems like a meathead.
Yeah.
Like, he's kind of dumb.
Either talk stupid or thumbs up.
He gives you the thumbs up. Calls Rebecca a terrible pianist for some reason. in a zombie up where she could barely play. He's like, you suck. I'm like, oh, dude, like you could die any second. You're just like, you suck at the piano.
How about you try it, honey?
You're like, Rebecca, what are you good at? Cooking? Because God, you're useless in every other aspect. Like he just disses on, not literally, but like it seems like he doesn't care about her.
Mhm.
And Rebecca's super like, Chris, oh my God, are you okay? Like, oh, like, do you want me to heal you? Chris is like, I'm good. All right, just back off, bitch. And I was like, dude, Chris, like, she's waifu material, dog. You know how to like
Jill's
push her.
waifu material.
Again, I didn't need her the whole game. I feel like I'm robbed. I wish I met her.
You
more.
were robbed.
Like I'm fine playing Chris's story because I needed to because I feel like it would be better. Again, the whole different. The stories were some of the points were completely different. I'm sad I didn't meet Barry though. But now that you're telling me all the meme shit's out, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's half his appeal is like the meme shit.
We should just watch a supercut of all the memes.
I feel like you could.
But
I think that subplot though sounds dumb with the whole like is Barry the traitor.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of like maybe because we know,
yeah.
so it already feels like that's stupid.
Yeah.
Because I never like again my whole Rebecca thing was like she was just a nice person.
I mean, technically he was a traitor, but
Yeah, yeah,
went
that's
back
true. He
on it
technically
at
is
the
a
end.
traitor.
Yeah,
I think I don't remember which point it was. You literally read that I think the Umbrella is in charge of all of this, and that the stars are under the Umbrella's payroll, basically.
Yes.
I forgot which. I think it was one of the later
Yeah.
file reports. So you read that, and I'm like,
makes no sense why they want to kill him then.
It's for the combat data.
yeah,
so,
it's to get more data out of it.
yeah.
I like how he went, like he got all that, and he immediately like Wesker the traitor, because literally all before that he's like Wesker.
Well, no, it's
What are you
because
doing here?
it's because you didn't do it. But in the file, in the what was it, the film reel,
The one thing I didn't do.
there's a picture of Wesker with the rest of the Umbrella Science team.
Oh, it's him with the zombie like.
Yeah, he has the freaking sunglasses still
Oh
too.
my god! Because that's the only single feature of him is the sunglasses.
Yeah.
So you can know, oh, that's Wesker.
Yeah, so that's how. And
That's why. That's
I'm,
funny. That skipped that then.
I'm kind of bummed out that there's not a more lively reaction from the character when you see that, because Jill, when you go through that slideshow, you see Wesker and then you just move on. Like, there's
Yeah,
no-
there's no like, because you're technically like looking at it, right?
yeah, so there's no like Jill going, oh, that bastard or
You're
anything.
like Wesker. I trusted you. Like no, you literally walk in that room. You're like Wesker, you son of a bitch, you traitor. And then he's like, I was never a traitor. I was always the bad guy. You're like, oh, you son of a bitch. Oh, because Rebecca mentions Umbrella. I don't know if you guys ever heard Umbrella beforehand.
No.
No,
'Cause
not
like-
till the end.
Yeah.
Because with the whole medicine shit with the save Richard, after you save him, you go in that room. She's like, whoa, this whole room has a lot of like advanced medical stuff. Like they're from the biggest corporation. You're like, she's like Umbrella. He's like, who are that? He's like, you don't know Umbrella? She's like, they're the biggest taxpayers. And I'm like, what the fuck is that got to do with anything? They don't. She doesn't mention their pharmaceutical though, which I thought it was weird because the whole point is that like you get kind of connected. She's like medicine and then it's Umbrella, but she's like Umbrella is like the biggest taxpayers. Like, but what are they? What are their stuff doing here? And that's kind of the first Umbrella mention.
Yeah.
And then you get that file where it's like Umbrella is in charge of all this thing and stars are under him or
yeah.
them.
Yeah.
So Sam, what do you think about Resident Evil 1, the reread?
Yeah.
Or I guess Resident Evil in general.
Would you
First
recommend it to anybody?
Hell yeah. I really like this game. The spooky aesthetic, even with the crappy tank controls, I think it actually adds to the scariness of it, because there were moments where I felt like I didn't have a full grasp of the controls yet, and that added to the tension of the game sometimes.
Oh, I changed my controls.
Did you?
I
was
did it.
Too lazy to read the
I did it
differences. I
so-
just played whatever they
I,
gave me.
I would aim with the left
L2?
trigger and then shoot with the X.
No.
And that was that worked out for me.
It's weird. But Alex, would you recommend this game?
Oh hell yeah!
Would you recommend this specific one though?
The remaster,
The
remaster.
Yeah.
The yeah.
I couldn't imagine recommending this game, the original version, to
Yeah.
somebody instead of this one.
Or
Either
the
the
GameCube version.
either the
Yeah.
the GameCube version's alright. It's the
So
same.
hard to find it. I mean,
Yeah,
compared to this, you really just went to the PSN store.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would
Bought it.
recommend it if you got the patience.
Yeah. If you're not used to this kind of like
It's-
old school
It's a
style,
lot of backtracking.
yeah, don't go for it. But if you want to experiment, it's not
want-
expensive either.
You want a challenge hard? I mean, the normal difficulty is pretty fucking hard.
The game encourages you to beat it multiple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To play as Chris and Jill, and like any one of the stuff you have to beat Chris twice, Jill's twice to like unlock certain stuff.
Yeah.
And much like how I said it for Uncharted, like this is really like a good start to like the rest of the series, which which unfortunately goes downhill for a bit.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're just playing all the remakes, Resident Evil 1 remake's great in my opinion.
Resident Evil 2 remakes
is great.
3's
I haven't played it, but it's still just as good as far as I know.
Yeah.
4, I think, is my favorite. And then don't bother
Wait.
playing 5 or 6.
4 is getting remade soon, isn't it?
Yeah. And then 7 and 8 I really liked, but they're close. 7 is actually way closer to the original Resident
Yeah,
Evil.
Yeah,
Yes.
7. I noticed some of the stuff from 1 that reminded me of 7.
Yeah, and they're
I was
soft
like, wow, there's
reboots
a
in a
lot of-
way, right? So
Kind of,
you
yeah.
don't really need to play the rest of them to play 7 and 8.
There's one character who shows up no matter what.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
meet him.
Favorite boy,
You-
Chris Redfield.
You meet him at the end of the 7th one, and he doesn't even look the same.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
they're completely different.
Yeah.
But Omar, you seemed pretty negative about this game at the beginning, but I feel like you got more positive as we talked about it.
Yeah.
I think
Would you recommend this game? To
I think it's
somebody?
because we're talking about it. Boys being the boys.
Would you recommend
Stuff
it
sounds
though?
better. You know, I was thinking about this a lot.
Yeah.
And I was comparing it to the first game we played, which is Uncharted, and how they're both the first. They're both probably maybe the worst of the series. There's a lot of janky stuff in it because it's older, and the newer ones.
I'd say this one's better than 6.
PS4. Because PS4 is kind of where all the new stuff is for both. Ironically, both those franchises are in the PS4 era, and this one's way older. I'm not gonna lie. I think I liked Resident Evil 1 more than Uncharted 1.
Okay.
Okay.
But I still don't like it.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
You liked Uncharted 1.
Like that's what I'm saying. It's so weird to me. I like Uncharted 1,
Uh-huh.
but I'd rather play Resident Evil
Yeah.
over Uncharted. But I didn't like Resident Evil.
Like you liked the experience of it, but you don't think you'll play it again.
Yeah.
You know what? I would play it again
Okay.
just to like. Not that I understand what's going on.
Mhm.
Maybe I can grasp stuff better. But I'd rather play Resident Evil 1 again than Uncharted ever again.
Okay.
But I didn't like both of these games.
We're just making you play shitty games.
It's like I feel so bad, right? Because these are all your games so far. I'm sure it was everyone, but like Resident Evil was yours,
Mine.
Alex's. But Sam loves Resident Evil anyways.
Yeah.
And like I feel bad because I'm gonna be like, I didn't like this, I didn't like this. And when it gets to my games, I'm like, oh, I loved it because they're Japanese weeaboo games with anime girls. These are like, because I never liked these genres.
Probably
That's
'cause-
the reason why I never played them.
Probably because you didn't play as Jill.
I feel like I would probably more upset
That's the reason why I like.
because Chris had a lot of health, and that gave me more.
Yeah,
chance to
but
fuck
Jill is
up.
hot.
But the game is more than that, Alex. Come
Like
on.
no.
this is a few times where I'm like, I'm fine. I wanted to play as Chris on purpose, anyways. I
Yeah.
already told you beforehand. Like, I wanted to play Chris anyways because
Yeah.
Chris is my favorite character.
Yeah.
Besides Leon. Leon's up there too. But like there's a reason why I didn't play these games. Not because I had them in a backlog. It's just because I didn't want to play them. Like we have a voting system, and I'm pretty sure I voted no for Resident Evil, and I'm fine playing it. It is that I never wanted to play them to begin with because they're not my type of games.
Gotcha.
I love like openness. That's my kind of thing. And these games, ironically enough, Uncharted is more open of the two. Yeah, I felt more open with Resident Evil because you kind of can.
I mean, it's kind of open.
Because it is a lot of you
Yeah.
walking around. Like my experience, it will be completely different than yours
Yeah.
and Sam's.
We were just talking before this how I used the crow room as a shortcut, but Sam said he hated that room. He only went
Yeah,
through it
and I
one time.
used that a lot at the end.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to. I was so scared of the zombies,
Mhm.
so I just used that one because the graveyard was always going to be free, no matter
Especially
what.
with the hunters.
So, like, I used that path a lot, and like I found that graveyard first by accident, because I want to look at a painting. Because a lot of this game is you click on something and you look at a painting, and I'm like, let me look at that painting. I opened it, I hit the X button, and it's like, And I was like, wait, a door? And then I walked in the graveyard. I was scared shitless. I was walking around like with my knife. I didn't have a gun yet too, so I'm like, there were no goddamn zombie around here. There's like that's where you find the mat. We don't know what the mat's at the time, but there's like a shiny thing there. And you're like, oh, that has to be, I have to fit that later. And you find shotgun shells. And that's when I'm like, there's a shotgun in this game.
On easy.
That's all. Oh, there's no shotgun shells for you?
No.
That sucks. No, I found the shells and I was like, there's a shotgun in this game. I have something to look forward to. Because I love shotguns in games. But like, that scared the shit out of me. And that's when you find the arrow puzzle.
Yes.
And I'm like, now I know I need to find this arrow at whatever the point I found it. But like, that's the point. Like, you find stuff at different times. And then like, you find certain things, answers to questions you don't know yet. Or some of you find the questions before you even know what the answers are.
Yeah.
Depending how you play it, you completely experience different things. And that's why I think this game, I would recommend this game, to be honest.
Okay.
One, it's not that long, unless you suck.
Hey.
I looked at you, but not on purpose. Sorry, Alex. If you, me, I up on a super easy and I still had a hard time. But if you want to get into the Resident Evil series, yes, play Resident Evil 1, preferably this version, because why would you want to play the old ones?
Yeah.
Obviously, you weren't even born when that shit came out, so we can't even be like, what would we do if we played it? And 2000, the GameCube one, again, we were like, I was 3, you guys were 2.
Yeah.
It would be impossible for us to play.
Yeah.
So like, no matter what, we could never have played it as it came out. And this one came out, what, 2014?
2015.
2015. So what, I'm 16, you guys are 15
Yeah.
at the time. I think I probably would have like 100% of that game, honestly, if I was in high school.
Yeah.
In high school, you have more free time and like you kind of don't give a shit.
Don't remind me.
So like, so I probably would have been like, I probably would have gotten into it more.
Yeah.
If I was younger. Ironically, when you're not supposed to play these games, when you're underage of 17, than I am now as an adult. Where like, maybe it's because like I don't have time. Like I don't want to waste time.
Yeah.
I want fast pace. I want to blast through this game. I don't want to like.
You want that instant gratification.
Yeah.
You don't like fumbling through the dark trying to figure out the answer.
Which I guess is kind of sad if you think about it.
Yeah.
I've lost that like that value in me.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I don't give a fuck about mystery. Which is funny because I think like 2 of the games I recommend, no, like 3 of them are all mysteries too. Which is so funny because I like those games too.
And our favorite franchise has a
there's
mystery game.
shit in it
Yeah.
too. But like, if it wasn't for the bad, I think controls are really big for me.
Mhm.
If the controls are bad, that's the issue because no matter what, you're gonna have to go through that.
Yeah.
The whole game. If the dialogue is shitty, they're not gonna be talking all the time.
Yeah.
If the cutscenes look ugly, well, whatever. Like the whole game's ugly. But like, if the controls are bad, they're gonna make your experience worse, and that's my issue with this. The most is the controls. Same thing with Uncharted as well, but that one's more unpolished than this one because again, this came out fucking 95.
I feel like you would have liked the controls I used.
I did not want to read them. There was like they gave you 8 options. I'm like, fuck that. I'm just gonna give you whatever the game wants me to do.
Tell me what you want, babe.
Yeah, game. Tell me what you want to experience. I don't give a fuck. I'll do it.
Yeah.
Take the wheel. Jesus, take the wheel, please.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but I think overall, this is a very like fun beginning because there's so many questions you have because you're like, why did Wesker do this? What is Umbrella? How do they do this? And obviously the second one is like bigger in the aspect of there's now the whole fucking city.
They
is infected.
obviously knew they had a series on their hands.
Yeah, they got. Well, didn't they say they kind of like? Oh no, that was the.
They
video,
weren't
right?
expecting it.
Yeah, they weren't expecting this to be a big thing. Then it really did.
Yeah, they.
So I can't imagine.
They planned for it.
They left it open enough that they could do another one, but they weren't like expecting it to pop
Yeah,
off.
the
like it
last
did.
thing on my notes was that the ending is too fast and vague.
Yeah. What ending did you get? What was the final cutscene for you?
Mine? No, it must have been the exact same.
No.
Where, like
Maybe.
Brad picks you guys up.
Yeah.
We shot the whatever Tyrone with the rocket launcher blows up,
Does Jill lay on your shoulder?
and then Jill like sleeps.
yeah,
Which is ironic because that doesn't make any sense because she was locked in a.
yeah.
Maybe because like stress. Because she can't
Yeah,
sleep in
yeah.
that. Because how could you? Because you like what happens if someone comes in and like whatever. So like maybe that makes sense.
Maybe.
That she passes out. I think Rebecca's in there with you,
Okay.
like on the opposite end. Because I think the opposite. Because so like you can easily be like she's not there. Barry's there.
Yeah.
He's not there.
Yeah.
So you have to. But no matter what, Chris. Oh, I guess no matter what, you can't not save them too. Actually, technically, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder what happens if you did Chris' dad with Jill. She just like slumps over. Or like falls off the hook. I'm like, oh shit.
Jill probably just like leans her head back.
Yeah, fucking dies or whatever.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, it's the same cutscene.
Okay.
And then it shows. That's when I figured out the whole Rebecca thing, with she wears wrong clothes because the
Oh.
end credits is the cutscenes from both sides,
Mhm.
just like super fucking fast. You can't even register it.
Yeah.
But I saw Rebecca for a split second, and she was not wearing the same clothes I was wearing, like that I brought, and Chris was wearing the original Chris clothes. So I assumed those were the generic
Costumes,
cutscenes.
I knew Zero was a thing and Rebecca's in there. So when I saw Rebecca in the cutscenes, I didn't
You're
know.
like, what the fuck?
I didn't know there was a whole Chris side to it. I thought the Chris side was,
she's the main
was the
girl
same.
for me because Jill's gone. Like we need a female.
Yeah.
And mine, ironic, with my own booty shorts and like fucking like a crop top basically of a vest. Like she was the fan. Well, there was no scene with her like what like.
Hey, I like myself a girl in uniform, and you know Joe had it. Joe
I
had
do,
it.
but not in my horror games where I'm like shitting my pants. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna die any second.
Okay.
I loved it.
I still think it's funny that video he sent, where it's like Jill just turns, it's like, pew, and jiggles, like so you're like, what?
Yeah.
That's the first thing I noticed.
I wish Chris had jizzle physics.
Chris-
Like when he turned his bicep, would be like,
That would be fun.
because his biceps were fucking massive, man. I'm telling you, he looked jacked up the shit. That's what I'm saying. Like, how did he not just like murder? Like, just fucking. How did he do wrestling moves? How does Leon do wrestling moves, but Chris doesn't?
Well, if you play Resident Evil 5,
Oh, he
you'll-
does wrestling
You'll see
moves?
some crazy stuff in
Holy
that one.
shit.
There's a huge meme about that in Resident Evil 5, but I'm not going to mention it here.
Mm.
All right, guys. We should,
Probably decide on our next game.
yeah. Let's decide on a game for April?
Yes, sir.
April.
I like how you. Why are you looking?
I,
at me?
I always
You
forget.
forgot what month we were in.
Yeah, I always forget what the next month is. Let's decide on our game for April.
You have to put 1 and 2.
I've got our list. No, because it can be between any three of
No,
them.
you're gone.
we just
not you.
no.
Sorry, Alex.
Oh, Alex
we
is
just
gone.
did one of my games.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
so
right.
we have to be you and
Wouldn't
me.
be fair.
All right, so
I
what,
am-
do you want to be 1 or 2?
I'll be 1 because I'm the one on the list.
All right,
and you're
cool.
the last one.
You want to
So Alex
press
do it.
the generate button to
Press
see?
it once.
Ready?
Don't even.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're the one to say it.
1.
Yeah,
All right,
baby.
okay.
So we're
You know-
choosing.
wait. Okay. Hold on. No, I feel bad. Never mind. No, go ahead. I was even. Can I
6.
specifically pick a game first? Because I really
No.
want to play one first. But
All right.
so can I
Oh.
push it or no?
Yeah, I'll
This
let
is
you
my
do it.
game.
All right, Omar, I'm gonna let you choose between one of your games.
What
You
am
have
I-
5 games on your
I
list.
think 4 of them are anime.
Yeah.
One of them, only one of them isn't. So let's
So click generate and see what happens.
2.
2. All right. So
Ooh.
let me.
What
I
are
know
we?
which one- oh,
What
which
are
one
we?
is the second
What are
one?
we playing?
Your game is
999.
Which one's that one?
Oh,
the
boy.
non-Aerie games or
That's
whatever?
the 99. The nonary games.
Yeah, that's what that
So
one is.
as I mentioned, this is one of the 3 puzzle games. I
we
have.
we playing the first one?
That is the first one.
Okay,
99 is the first one.
What system is it on?
You can get on the PS4,
Okay.
but you have
Okay.
to buy. It's a pack. It's called a nonary pack, and it's the first and the second one.
Okay.
You can't buy them separately anymore.
Okay.
Originally, it was on the DS. Well, yes, 999. It's my game. It's a visual novel mystery point and click game.
Okay.
It's a grand old time. I'm really excited for you guys to play this.
I'll keep an open mind.
It's also definitely the best
How?
of the 3. So you're playing the
Oh
best
no,
version.
you
of it.
had the Nier.
Automata is also on the
Automata?
list.
No, what do you mean? No, I meant sorry. I meant like of that game's a
Oh,
3-game franchise.
okay.
That game is the peak.
Okay.
9 is the peak of it.
Okay.
So I wouldn't recommend you playing the next ones anyway. So you don't have to
Okay.
feel like we should play that. No.
Okay.
It peaks at the first one. I platinum the first 2.
Yeah.
I couldn't be bothered to finish the third one.
Gotcha.
Fuck that one. I don't know how console exclusive it is. I know it's on the computer
Yeah.
because I've seen it there originally.
And
It's on the PS4. The original was on the DS. You don't need to worry about that though.
Yeah.
But the PS4,
Is what we're gonna be
we're
playing.
probably
Probably.
playing. Unless you want to play on the computer, but I don't think you can anyways.
No.
But yeah, it's a PS4 game.
Cool.
And it's gonna be finally I can be happy for once.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy it
That's
right
gonna be our
now.
game for April, and that's gonna be a good time.
And well, I don't know how much time exactly is gonna be.
It's probably gonna be uploaded on the last week of April. Hopefully, that's the goal.
Crossing
anyways.
fingers.
Yeah.
Crossing fingers.
But fingers.
Fingers.
But I'm finally happy for once.
We'll see you guys next month.
Yeah.
See it for 999.
We really need to figure out how to end this stuff, dude.
Dude, fuck it. You know what was the issue?